Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final day of the first ever LCL EU Seeding Cup, brought to you by Lega Events in partnership with both Nord VPN and BSG. We've got a day full of action for all of you out there.
A little bit of a trip across the pond for me and well, hot sauce, but I'm sure the competition is going to be just as fiery.
I'm excited for it. I know this first one we've got Decoded taking on Pulse here as well, and a lot of great games. We're going to see, I talked to you a little bit before we got started. Lost Yapper, Cracked Wisdom, a fellow caster you're going to get to see out on the battlefield here today as well. So I know you got to be excited for that.
Yeah, man, I got to cast alongside Cracked last time around, and dude certainly got a lot of knowledge to dispense. I'm sure he's doing so on the battlefield as well, and a very chipper fellow, and that's what you want to see here, especially in these best of ones to start things off, Hot Sauce, where it can get really dicey in terms of your mood. If it plummets, all of a sudden you find yourself on your heels and out of the bracket with the quickness, so you really got to make sure that you have yourself locked in, tranquil, calm, cool, collected, and ready to kill.
A little bit of the action yesterday, and I think Pulse upset Surge yesterday. So excited to see what they can do against Decoded here today. The captain spotlight's popping up on your screen. And, well, for the side of Decoded, Ashtray Pot, very familiar with this name here, 1,500 plus hours, 1.37 on the KD. B plus is that talented rating there, and an enjoyer of the marksman class.
It's always interesting when you see a Stark story lit up before you. You'd say, okay, well, obviously, Decoded have got your number. Hours played don't always reflect exactly what translates to your score. They might give you a rating at the end of the day, but I'm a teacher, Hot Sauce, and I can tell you, a grade doesn't always reflect everything. Maybe yours not as good on testing. Maybe you find your contributions. So, yes, Cali, in theory on paper, are going to be batting a bit from behind as captains, but maybe their leadership comes from the way they bolster the morale of the rest of the team, or some other contributions they make that just can't be visibly seen with the stats.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, numbers are great. Obviously, we like numbers, especially big numbers that go up. But at the end of the day, I mean, all that goes out the window when it's game day. Anything is possible any given Sunday, as we like to say over here in the States especially. And, well, today is Sunday, so we'll see if Pulse can maybe pull out a big upset here against Dakota. This is a team that has really been making big waves across the scene. And, well, they've added a player by the name of Calls recently who has been on an absolute tear. I recently was talking about him in a podcast. This is a player that I am looking out for. If he can consistently play well, they might just have an easy day cut out for him. We're going to take a quick look at the rosters. And on the side of Decoded, Ashtray Pot, Wraith, Calls, Agurkus, and Denny.
Pulse take up with Cali the captain, Tail, Beta, Mega, and Energy Star. And they're going to be trying to bring that energy here to start things off with that bracket. You want to really put that best foot forward, try to get those first 2 rounds in your favor, and start to build from there. And you mentioned it's Sunday, it's the day of rest, but as God once did in the Old Testament, he actually played Tarkov on Sunday. It's a little-known fact, and you can see that clearly we're going to follow in those same biblical footsteps as we look to see this first match get underway. Now, EU scene, Hot Sauce, we talked a little bit about in the green room. I'm from the NA realm. I got to cast that prior, and I have not yet gotten to see what EU Tarkov looks like in terms of the landscape. Can you walk me through once again?
Yeah, I was glad you made the biblical reference, though, because I think Jesus actually returned 3 days later because wipe happened. So I'm excited for the new wipe to come in. But, yeah, EU, man, I love the EU scene, honestly. There's a lot of really talented players over here. We talk about maybe not always the same type of aggression, definitely some methodical plays coming out, but it just depends from team to team because there are some very aggressive teams in this. And honestly, sometimes teams play a little bit slower on offense, more aggressive on defense. So we always like to see the mixing of the strategies, but we're going to wait more time getting into it. We're already on forward, and Wraith has wasted no time. He finds a double kill as he's clicking heads and getting bread.
Okay, response there from Energy Star. Kali is the leads by example. Wraith finds a third on top of the opposing captain, and now it's only Mega in a mega crappy situation. Kali's going to put him down. DCD.
Just like that. I mean, that was over as quickly as it began between Wraith and Calls there. They had the full house, the double and the triple. So they start off on the right foot. We'll see if they match that aggression here again. I mean, Decoded on this defensive side. And, well, they guessed correctly. We saw Pulse really trying to pressure into that site very, very quickly. It'll be interesting to see if they continue that quick aggression or if they change up the ebb and flow a bit here.
I'd like to always see adjustments when necessary, but I don't think a first round's always got to be the indicator. Sometimes it can just be a fluke. Now let's see if it's a pattern. Once again, aggressive positioning here on their part. But actually, no, biding their time a little bit more. They said the rush down was a bit too much for us. We don't want to get Wraith 2 bodies off the bat, so let's try to adjust, ebb, flow, move like water. No bodies dropping quite just yet.
Here's that nade. Find a home somewhere, maybe not even on for it, who knows, but calls, being patient. Maybe here's a bit of the audio cue. Beta just on the other side. They begin the pressure for the peak from calls. He takes quite a bit of damage here, though, and he could be in trouble.
Okay, one more shot down, but no, it's going to be Wraith who actually team kills one. They want blood no matter what. That's already 2 members down for Dakota, but Wraith going to be able to get a body on the board that you actually are looking for. But it's still now Decoders popping off. Beta is going to go down as well. Energy and Mega, a 2v2 is all that remains. Oh, no!
Speaking of team kills, Energy Star.
Come on,
I had to play
man.
against Energy Star the other day. He killed me a couple of times, so I'm going to clip that and send it to him in Discord later. Team kills, haunting both teams, but right now, Dakota, they've got that player advantage to work with, and Agurkus on the Enforcer class, but not rocking the side guy. He's got the Ash 12, and it's going to put Energy in the dirt.
Moment of hesitation there is all it took. Energy had that line of sight through the day. Waits to pull the trigger until it's a bit too late. Maybe he's trying to even the odds there. Clearly very honorable. We're seeing there as they are like, oh, you got a team kill? All right, no worries, Wraith. It happens to the best of us, buddy. Check it out. And they shoot down Mega. That's not the way you want to see it, but I like the fact that we are seeing consistency already from PLS there. Mega is oftentimes that stock tank, the person you want on the anchor. You just got to make sure that you're not the one who's cutting them loose.
Yeah, I mean, Energy said, hey, Wraith, anything you can do, I can do better. I see your team kill, and I raise you a team kill. But, I mean, Dakota, nice start. 2 rounds in the bag. Wraith 4 on the board already. For Energy, he's got a couple, but it's the rest of the crew that's got to pick it up. It's only the first couple rounds, but it's so crucial to be able to put multiple rounds on the board in a row when that magic number is only 9. Wraith looking to lock down cannons, but they are going to shift away here.
Once again, taking our time here. It worked out a bit last go around. PLS certainly made it a closer game, and they're certainly going to be able to here. Taking down Ash Trip. Puts them in the center. Now you can finds a few shots on, takes down Cali as well. So without the captain, does the rest of the Snake's body go limp is the question. PLS hold firm, but haven't quite gotten Dominion over the site just yet.
Still a 4v4. Plenty of time on the clock to work with, but Energy pressures out. It's Agurkus and Wraith that combine for 2. Beta able to get a trade back here. It's a 2-for-1. They've got a player disadvantage at the moment and still haven't been able to get the device down. It's in an awkward spot as Wraith will collect that one as well, and he's looking for the final one, but he's taken out by Teal.
A chance, but careful picking up that bomb, able to flee for safety, but taking quite a few bullets as a memento. And Kali and Denny both builds a health, going to be able to easily take down the last stand. And Dakoters up 3.
Good start for them. They're certainly the favored team here, though. I mean, they've been around for a while, and we saw Pulse recently upset Surge, so they've been making waves in the scene. This is a very good test for them here today, but it's been a tough start. They've stumbled a little bit. It's only the opening game, though. I mean, those first game jitters, got to get warmed up a little bit. It does happen from time to time, but they've got to take a deep breath, reset mentally, and start trying to put a couple rounds on the board.
Yeah, at this point, you can start to see that those tensions begin to fray. Down 3, it's no longer something you can just dismiss as a fluke. There are systemic problems in your gameplay that are costing you multiple rounds, multiple kills. Can't see that happen. It's a flanking maneuver. Denny's got good cover, though. The question is, where will they emerge from first? Looking in the wrong spot, parking up the wrong tree. Could be trouble here with Denny. They hold this position because Energy Star's going to loop her on the back, take down Cali's, though. Great way to start off here. Back, finds that. Ooh! Corner, takes down Mega. Now back around. They're surrounded on all sides. Cali will drop him.
Around the Rosie, unfortunately, that's a problem with a spear. It has great stopping power, but only 25 rounds in the mag, and Astray through the smoke. He's using the ESPN, baby. He's got the mental lock, and now he's got a player advantage to work with. Thought there was someone prone, but it was a dead body. Doesn't pick up. Now Beta beginning to shift forward here. Needs to find at least one pick, but that device is down in a very awkward spot.
This is dangerous footing. 3 sharks smell blood in the water. Kali, though, feels emboldened to step up. Maybe you should have just held your position as a Gurkha will be able to take him out. Now Beta going to try to find their own last stand. It's not going to happen. Decoder, once again, are able to snuff out those flames of resistance, those embers that PLS are trying to put up.
Yeah, I mean, Decoded is, again, a very tough team. They've played some very tough teams. They have the experience, and, well, they're good at dominating. So, I think you and I have talked about this before, looking for those side quests in a mission. I think for Pulse, right now, that goal is to be able to take away 2 to 3 rounds from a team like Decoded.
Yeah, Pulse just need to look for the side quest. Sometimes when the grand scheme of things is going awry, you try to look for those smaller, well, good things. You focus on the small things in life, and sometimes that can just be getting 1 round. Okay, then we focus on getting another. Or focus on just getting that kill on Reaper start. It's a good one, but Denny has been the main threat to look at in these ultimate 2 rounds. Gets 2 to start, now continuing to wind around the corner. Looks back behind, unfortunately a bit too late. Pulse Steel is going to be able to smack him upside the head and make him dead. Only 2 members left now. Make it 2v3 in favor of Decoded.
There's Calls, the player that I've been looking out for, and he's already clicking domes and sending them home. It's a free 6 feet dirt nap from Mega Muzik. And now Kali, all alone in a 3v1, is able to collect the head of Calls here, though. Mal back to a 2v1, and something that becomes much more feasible with 1:05 on the clock.
1 minute down and out. Can Pulse finally put themselves up on the board? Kali, the captain's got to lead by example once more. Detonation device in pocket. Slowly winds around that corner. But that's not the horror movie you want to see. They go looking for clues, and they find a bullet in the head instead. Decoded, up round 5.
What a way to start the day off, right? 5 rounds in a row, and you take a look at the kills. I mean, 7 for Race, 6 for Denny, everybody falling in line and just getting a piece of the pie. So it just goes to show that everybody is filling their role nicely here. On the other side of things, I mean, they've had a couple nice rounds. They've had a couple close rounds. I'd say at least 2 that could have gone either way. They just haven't been able to solidify that dub, so they just got to find that extra step here, and hopefully soon.
At this point, you're just looking for any way to put down Denny and Wraith. Those are clearly 2 of the top dogs in terms of the threats. Denny's always been able to make out a trade of at least 2 for 1, if not more, and still dedicating attentions because you need that third person to actually wound their way over and find that ending bullet to the head. Kali takes down a Gurkha to start, but that's not the main threat. We're still looking over at Wraith. They're going to fall as well. This is what Pulse need, and now they charge forward with Wanted Abandoned.
Well, Calls will let some shots ring out through the smoke. It's Pulse who has the player advantage, and drastically they need to solidify a dub. And Mega, Kali, they combine for 2. It's Denny all alone. He's been a shining star. He's going to need a big one. I think he thought he got that kill, did the old look away, but it's a double take because the Energy Star puts him down, and it's not only a round win here for Pulse, but a flawless one at that.
That's a massive boon to obviously the scoreboard, but also to those mentals, man. You were nursing some low vibes. You were feeling a bit down, and all of a sudden now we're up, baby. Certainly not up in terms of being a leaderboard, but still, you're now looking to be in a better position. You also are recognizing, hey, gods can bleed. We can decode Decoded and figure out their game plan and beat them at it.
That's right. We're always looking for that single spark to ignite that spectral fire. We'll see if Pulse can do that here. If Decoded will be able to pop out the fire extinguishers and snuff this flame, because Wraith has already found an opening pick.
Up top, Wraith will get dropped. Teal takes credit. Calls backing up around that corner. See the positioning. Definitely interesting down in the undergrowth. But they're holding it down for now. Around that corner, Ashtray might be smoked in just a second, but no, Mega makes a mad dash out. So before Ash goes down, they at least take someone with them.
Well, back to a 3v3 we go. Slight health advantage for Pulse. Not much, but that's taken away as Gurkha takes the ankles clean away from Energy Star. He face plants into the ground, and they've got that player advantage once more. And again, I'm loving this, right? A Gurkha, typically on these Enforcer classes, it's always Saga, Saga, Saga with the Piranha rounds or the Flechette in the Shoddy. But he's rocking that Ash 12. Denny Calls, find the final 2, and Decoded right back on top.
I'm seeing in these scramble situations where it feels like guns drawn at high noon. It's a Mexican standoff in some of these scenarios. oftentimes Pulse are the ones losing their nerve and making these very reckless but bold dashes out. I respect it, but it's getting you killed quite often. And I understand that, of course, the time is ticking down, so you feel that pressure, but you need to make sure that the move you make is a careful one, is calculated to ensure you still keep your head on your shoulders.
Yeah, because Dakota said this 4 ain't big enough for the both of us here, and there's only one winner. Dakota up by 5 rounds, and they're looking to finalize this one. It's a solid start, and if they make it a 7-1 half, it's going to be detrimental for Pulse.
It would just not feel good to be down that far. This early in the bracket, you do not want to see your legacy cut so short. Gurkha's life might be cut short a second, but another mad dash out, and a Gurkhas will respond with fury. Kali's the one to fall. Energy Star responds by dropping Wreath, but Calls has Energy Star calling for home. Maybe calling for the ambulance too. Denny gonna make way with Mega's head as well. It's a great fight to start from Decoded.
They begin to shift toward cannon side. Shots ring out though, and it's Teal to find a Gurkhas. So some Enforcer on Enforcer action before Denny does find that trade back, knocking on the door of double-digit kills here as well.
One more member stands unopposed, but Beta will quickly be put down by Ashtray. And it's another round going in favor here of Decoded. Pulse, we gotta find a Pulse, right? They're starting to look like that heartbeat's awfully faint. Maybe try to get the defib paddles out, say clear, and try to clear the mentals a little bit as we switch sides.
Yeah, you know, again, it's tough, but I would say that Decoded was heavily favored to win this game. So again, Pulse just looking to get 2 or 3 rounds away from a team like this and use that as a stepping stone here as we look to wrap up the final day of the Seeding Cup. A 7-1 half if you're Decoded. You can't complain too much about that. You only need 2 more to close it out.
So close, but still plenty of room for a comeback here. You're never out of it here in Tarkov. One round can beget another. Victories beget victories. And kills hopefully beget kills. But looking at the scoreboard here, looking at the slash lines, it's interesting how much of that pressure seems to be on both Kali and Teals. They've been the real money makers when it comes to clicking heads. Whereas it seems like there's a bit more of a fine distribution on Decoded. They're doing a bit of a better job spreading out that pressure amongst the shoulders. You want to make sure that everyone is pulling their weight. No one's lagging behind. Certainly not as Calls, who tries to step up, but is quickly wound back by some bullets from Energy.
Calls a little bit of damage, able to heal up here, though, as we see Teal doing the same. Energy up top, trying to linger around, has to deal with the other one that is up there as well. And I'm not sure if he is aware.
I don't think so.
They are directly to the right there, but a much slower round than we're used to seeing so far.
Danger here as Ash starts to contest, and now Energy Star certainly aware, but do they back down is the question. You really want to maintain this high ground to ensure safety for the rest of the team. Beta with the sniper takes down Denny, and you thought they were gone. Energy Star never had left Ashtray Pot. Soul will leave their body instead. Agurkis finds the first kill for Decoded onto Kali, so the captain is down.
I'm just loving seeing Agurkis on this Ash 12, getting a little bit away from the meta. Wraith finding Teal here as well, who's kind of been a little bit of a diamond in the rough for the squad at the moment. So both of the juggernauts go down. It's going to be up to Energy Star here, who's also knocking at the just double-digit kills. To plant the device, going to go down here. Bennett finds a snipe onto Agurkis, though. And now Wraith, a team kill.
Oh, come on! Wraith, not again! This man is absolutely killing it, whether it's your own team or the enemies. Wraith will fall as well. The defuse comes out. And can I say, Beta has certainly stepped up with that sniper rifle. Change that name, buddy. This man is looking to be Sigma on the snipes.
Doing great with that TRG, and it's a you know, one of those classes that can deal with that Enforcer class a little bit better. You know, the one-hitter quitter often, as we like to say. So, unfortunately, for anybody on the battlefield, nobody's safe on the other side of the crosshairs of Wraith. So, finds that 10th kill. Won't get credited with it, unfortunately, because it was a teammate, though. So, 9 for Wraith, 9 for Denny, and 666. The Angels of Death on the side of Decoded as they are looking to wrap this one up. But right now, Pulse hanging on by a thread.
I'll credit them for it, Hot Sauce. I think it was a pretty good kill. Good job, Wraith. Get some more on underneath your belt, buddy. You're doing fantastic. An aggressive push out here from Decoded. And that might just be what they need to overwhelm the forces of Beta. That first shot's off the mark, and that's all Calls needed to have them dead. Wraith will go down as well. I'm sure the rest of Decoded is grateful for that, as Ash and Agurkis each find heads. Only 2 members left here from Pulse, and Teal's around the corner.
No ankles are safe when the Piranha rounds come to shred the flesh. Ashtray goes down to bring it back to a 2v3 and something that's a bit more manageable here for Pulse, but they've got that crossfire. Calls is going to hear one jump across. Now able to
Easy.
find Tio. There's the
Wow.
spray. Denny finds it, and the crossfire action comes through. Decoded. Now dangerously close to closing this one out.
What a fantastic pincer maneuver set up there. Honestly, it can really be called a pincer maneuver if they just sat there and waited. But again, it's these mad dashes. I just feel like Pulse are not checking their surroundings. You got to look both ways before you cross the street. It's just as applicable in real life as it is here in Tarkov. And unfortunately, Pulse were just a bit too antsy to get to that objective, and it cost them big. And now Decoded stand with victory nigh in reach. Only one more round, and they will advance.
Yeah, just kind of crabbing it out. They got pinchers too, so we'll call it a pincer play, but Beta on the TRG up close and personal. It's Wraith to find the first one. Can he get the place? He does. This is a big pick here for Beta as Denny goes down.
Okay, that's the big change of this time. The first bolt finds the mark, and now you're bound to get more. Hopefully, Beta gets the quick scope. Kyles will go down. Ashtray responds, but it's a 2-for-1 trade, which means it's 2-for-2 overall. Agurkus, though, going to answer back by taking out Kali. Mega finds Wraith. The bullet's on top, but Agurkus won't go down just yet. In fact, they're taking out Energy.
And now it's a 2v1.
Ooh.
Music has the health, but they've got the space, and they know where Music is, so gonna opt to rotate around, Muzik, excuse me, but all the way to the other site here. They should get this plant with ease, and, well, now it's gonna be up for the 2v1 clutch.
Scary stuff here. Might be Muzik, but I can hear the music for Decoded. They are playing the victory theme, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. Mega steps up. Rifle in hand with a grim sense of duty to the rest of Pulse. All my brothers who fell, I do this for you. Around that corner, gotta find Agurkus first, but they probably have already heard. Around that corner goes Mega. They're in trouble. They're dead. Decoded, take it.
9-2, dominating fashion, but for Pulse, they're able to gather a couple rounds for an extremely talented team. So, I think all in all, you've got to be happy. I mean, you take a look at the ratings, right? There's C across the board. There's definitely a bit of a skill gap differential there, but I thought they played well on 4. There were probably 2, maybe 3 rounds that could have gone either way. And so even though it was a 9-2, I don't think the scoreline really does it justice, but Decoded,
Yes.
I think, expected to win here today and certainly showing they're capable of that. I mean, this roster is just littered with a plethora of talent.
It's what we talked about before. Numbers don't always spell the same story that reality does itself. And even though Pulse were only able to find 2 rounds there, I think they certainly put up some good fights. They had some last-minute adjustments. I think we saw Beta really come into their own in those final 3 rounds, right? You can only imagine what would have happened if we got that warm-up maybe a bit quicker. But nonetheless, you can't cry over spilled milk. You can't cry over performance. That was still gosh darn good up against a worthy opponent like our friends in Decoded. They will advance on to the next round, and we get to look forward to some more good Tarkov play in the future.
Oh, we've got so many great games action-packed here throughout the day. And, well, this next one has that familiar face that we talked about as well, D'Lo. The Lost Yapper, the Cracked Wisdom, the fellow cast are going to be out there on the battlefield. Unfortunately for him, I don't envy him because they are going up against K3, who previously won the ASPL championship, who did well enough in the HPL, a top 4 position, to qualify for the ACS. This has been an up-and-coming team that has looked phenomenal.
And the fact that you have that pedigree that you're slated up against, maybe you could prove to be that underdog story. Maybe you could try to get the better end of them. But I'm sure there's a bit of nerves involved, of course. The fact that you have all this experience beneath their belt. Again, on paper, that veteran experience, and even in game, that oftentimes does reflect to be the case. However, there are underdog stories for a reason. Cracked Wisdom has spent so much time here in the booth watching these top players. I'm sure he's got plenty of tricks up his sleeves.
Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of fun plays, and honestly, they're really known for this 5-player crab action, just kind of waiting and slowly, methodically walking. But before we get into all of that, we have a most lethal player to check out from that last matchup, D'Lo.
Indeed, we do, and it's going to be our friend Denny. So many times you saw either using themselves as the primary threat, but I think back to that one time they were caught behind that barricade, and they were playing that game of Ring Around the Rosie, and we all fall down because Denny's going to make sure they take down a couple souls with them, always grabbing at least 2 in any of those massive firefights, and making sure that their life still had a pound of flesh in return from Pulse. if they were going to go to the black and blue. 10 kills, very impressive. They've reached that double-digit mark, and they didn't even need a team kill for it.
Yeah, I was going to say it would probably have been Wraith, except he had those couple team kills. But honestly, it doesn't matter when you have a 9-2 performance. Obviously, you've got some minor mistakes, which is, it's nice. You get to go back, check out the VOD review. Hey, this is where we went wrong. At least we still got the win, but this is where we need to make some adjustments or make sure that these minor mistakes don't happen. So I think, this is a great little stepping stone in the middle of the road here for Dakota as they look to power forward in this final day. But Pulse, they had a big upset yesterday, I think, just to get here. So again, as a solid team that has played well, they got to continue to hold their heads high, and I look forward to seeing what they can do as more LCL cups come.
They can't see it, but my tea mug is currently raised in a toast to our friends on Pulse. Better luck next time to them, and the fact that you're able to make it this far is certainly a testament to the fact that you grinded, you worked hard, and now, next season, you get even a bit further. It's, again, about setting those small podiums, those small little side quests for yourself. Even if you can't get yourself the whole enchilada, you can still have yourself an appetizer. You can still make it here to playoffs. Very impressive nonetheless, and I hope they feel proud of their performance here today.
Yeah, absolutely they should. And the bare minimum requirement here is to have fun. That's all we're looking for.
Yeah.
So hopefully everybody in chat's having half as much as fun as I am up in the booth with my man, Velo. But K3 Outcast, that's going to be the next one that we have on the cards here. I talked about it. K3 recently won the ASPL, the Arena Semi-Pro League. They stepped into the pro scene where they toppled some big name teams. They ended up in the top 4 position that qualified them for ACS. This is a team to really look out for. It's a fun, exciting team to watch. And I've had a chance to talk with a few of these guys on the team. They are stand-up, chill dudes. So you love to see it when they got a little bit of everything over there.
We have the rosters coming at you in a moment, and the game even shortly after. We already got to take a look at those captains. Now let's see who's beneath them and following them into battle.
That's right. On the side of K3, Malikan, Giros, Halava, Griffin, and Blasty, who's been also pretty insane on that marksman rifle.
Now it's the Outcast. We know Lost Yapper, certainly going to be talkative in those comms, but who are they common with? It's our friend Boosh, Ocean, Stony, and Merkin going to be stepping up to try to take them down. Hopefully get this upset off, and we'll be in the races soon enough. Up close and personal. That's just how I like my combat, and it seems that is going to be the result.
That's right. Stony, I had a chance to play with a lot of these dudes over the weekend. We had a lot of fun over the last week, but Ocean, very, very talented. Boosh gets a ton of kills, but has been known to find a couple team kills in there as well. Mr. Kin stepped away last weekend, was on vacation. They had a sub. I believe he's stepping back in this weekend. So excited to see him back in the roster here.
Let's see how they do in this first round. The pacemaker, the pace setter. Pop out around those outhouses, maybe, a quick nervous pee. Understandable. Sometimes you really got to make sure all the nerves are emptied as well as your bladder. And they're just having a firm discussion here about the strategy. I love this.
So this is what I was talking to you about earlier. Outcast known for some of these meme rounds where they'll just 5-man camp out for a little while. Then they all begin to crab walk somewhere slowly and surely. And it just kind of keeps their opponents guessing, like, what is going on? And so here we see even Griffin beginning to walk forward. And so what that does sometimes is it makes that defense a little bit overzealous. They're wondering what's going on. They try to peek, get an early pick, and you're able to work off the back of it. Unfortunately, Ocean run into the waiting arms of the opponents here, and that's an easy kill for Reynolds.
Okay. I guess we should stop heading around the bathrooms and actually hit the sack and try to do some damage. But already quite a lot being done here by K3 as they find 3 kills to start things off. Boosh will respawn, finds Griffin. But now you only have him and Lost Yapper to lead the charge up against 4 members still remaining of K3. Back around the corner. Woo! Lost Yapper finds the shot. Reticle perfectly placed the bullet. Similar mark. Now around that corner. Boosh bops Malikan back from whence they came. It's a 2v2.
I'm impressed by that play from Yapper. I mean, the guy just presses in there like John Rambo, dropping the competition. He has to heal up just a bit. Not a ton of health to work with. Boosh pops the reload. Shots ring out. Yapper able to dip down as Boosh finds help on the lava. And now Outcast have a chance to take round 1.
Oh, no, Giros!
He finds Boosh.
Around the
Yapper goes
Rosie!
down as well. It was a close round that K3 is able to solidify, but man, the Outcasts come out swinging.
Dang it, man. That was so freaking close. Outcast, they just need a couple more seconds to discuss those strategies, I think, Hot Sauce. They really didn't get it solidified. They were interrupted by that unfortunate first death on their team, and they're like, we gotta go. No, guys, don't rush it. Get the strategies down. Make sure to talk, nod your heads a bit more, and I'm sure we'll take round 2. That being said, the fact that they were batting from disadvantage and still had so much moxie, so much fire left to give is very impressive, and just shows to me what you already mentioned and we are now seeing. This is a high vibes team, and that might allow them to thrive.
Gotta say, I love that overhead view. You can see the nades being thrown across the battlefield here as well. They don't find the mark just yet. Halava on this Enforcer class as well. One to look out for. He's been a menace, an arch nemesis at times on the Enforcer. Reynolds is back in the lineup. I know Blasty was filling in there for a bit, but Reynolds back also. A very dangerous player here, but a lot of these slow, methodical rounds to start out for the Outcasts.
Ocean was locked down for quite some time and nearly engaged in a long-range firefight. One member of K3, but they will just hold that position. It's going to be a split here as Malikan might be pushed on by Mr. Ken. Names are awfully close, and the body's awfully closer. Mr. Ken, unfortunately, zigs where Mr. Malikan Zag just was looking the wrong way, and bullets will find the back of their head.
Well, the Crabs will continue to slowly walk forward here, begin to shift toward back alley, 3 through mid, and maybe trying to serve up a little bit of a Krabby Patty here, but Reynolds and crew begin to shift for the A site here, and maybe a big rotation could help him. Oshin's already in the back alley, but I think he's been spotted, and Malikan drops him down. Yeah,
they just had the better angle there. Reynolds was also ready. The shot, he's going to come out. Too hottie. Piranha going to be nipping at the heels of Haleva. Stony Ninja will fall as well, so still lead for K3. It's a 2v4, and Lost Yapper is nursing an awfully low health bar.
He's prone, though. He's a slithery snake in the garden. And unfortunately, as he stands up, Malikan drops him down. Boosh will run into the arms of Malikan, who finds another. That puts him up to 5 already through just 2 rounds.
And this is a more traditional round being played here by Outcast, and maybe that's genuinely what's costing them. Hot Sauce, I'm going to keep saying it. I think you might be right here completely. The fact that Outcast, when they play at their most wily and creative and kooky methodology, K3 are not quite sure how to handle it. They're like, dude, what the hell do we do when 3 members are just squatted out at the outhouse, just waiting to do their business? Can we interrupt that? That seems like a party foul, and I would certainly agree. But 3rd round in, hopefully Outcast can find a way to take this one decisively. Nades out, but no one quite dead just yet until I say that. Lava can instantly make off with Stony Ninja's head. It's a good start for K3.
Everybody's tipped someone over in a Porter John every once in a while. Speaking of tipped over, Lost Yapper, he finds the 2K. Malikan able to answer back on to Oshin 4-1. It's a 3v3. They begin the shift, but Boosh goes down the Giros. They're trying to find the plant. Lost Yapper pops Mr. Ken, and he takes out the teammate. Welcome back from vacation, buddy.
Dang it, man. Yeah, he'll be taking a long snooze in the sky. Lost Yapper. No time for remorse, no time for regrets. You can apologize to your friend's corpse after you've made some of the enemy. Aims for the legs, but can't quite find the shots. Giros, with an amazing off-angle flank, is able to take out Boosh and then makes off with the captain as well. That was just brilliant flanking from K3, and now they're up 3.
Yeah, I mean, they're up 3-0, but honestly, I'm incredibly excited. I mean, Outcast, this could be a 1 or 2 rounds in their favor already, and the fact that they're playing this well against a talented team makes me excited for what's to come. Now, a little bit of a slow start for a few of these members, though. We got to get the rest of the crew pumping here with Boosh and Lost Yapper. Hellcat normally in, not in today. She's sitting this one out as well, maybe cheering from the bench. So we saw some crazy ninja diffuses from her last week, but Giros and now Oshin will both find a pick.
Okay, Yapper takes down Randy. It's around the corner. Lava's going to be able to burn away Yapper as well. 3v3 so far. Malikan going to put the odds back in K3's favor by bopping Boosh. Around that corner is Tony Ninja, as well as Ocean on both sides. But Malikan cuts through the cargo, try and ensure safety. And now with the audio cues as well, knows that Tony Ninja is ahead. But watching their back is one more member of the Outcast. Can they stay alive?
It's a tough ask, and certainly a tough task in front of Outcast here. Ashen on the Jiggle Peak, just looking for something here as Stoney begins to creep forward
They know.
toward the site. Shots continue to ring out. Ashen dangerously low in health here as well.
A bold dash to reunite with their teammate, which means that there's a bit more unpredictability in terms of where Outcasts are going to come from, but Lava seems to know. Around that corner, Stoney Ninja, you're not looking the right way. Once you cross that line of sight, you're going to find yourself in quite the spot of bother, as Lava takes off their head and quickly makes Ashen dead as well. Great plays there from Lava. If I'm not mistaken, the 3-piece goes to them.
Yeah, Lava finding the triple. The one tap to the head, enough said. The competition just seeing red at that point. K3 up by 4. Malikan 7 on the board as well. Yapper's got 5. Boosh with 3. Unfortunately for Stoney and Mr. Kin, they're rocking the old donut at the moment. So I think if we can just find a little bit of help from the rest of the crew here, maybe a pick or two in these rounds, it could set them apart.
Oh,
but it's Jiros from downtown, and Yapper goes down.
Boosh, nah, we got Bosch on K3's side, as Chris is going to step up and quickly sink in that 3-pointer. And now K3 stand up with that lead. Outcasts want to slow down the game's pace. But again, I don't think that's where they stand their best. If you're going to play it slow, methodically, traditionally, K3 are going to have the advantage just based on experience alone. Jiros sets up, but facing them is Ashen. Lobs the nade up overhead. Could be dangerous. Forces Jiros to retreat from their position. But Malikan going to shoot out Mr. Ken. Still goose egg for them.
Well, Boosh will find Halava. They try to work back into the round here. It'll be their first pick of round 5. Reynolds waiting patiently, though. Does spot the cross. Shots ring out, but they don't connect. Now will be some intel for OTC as they begin to shift on towards site.
Ether will be able to take the point. Rainways is holding it down firmly. Gets Boosh. Jiros takes down Stoney Ninja. Ashen tries to fill an ocean of blood by taking down Kiris as well as Rainoids. That's a really solid start to what could be a nice clutch up. We still got 2 more members left, unfortunately, around that corner. Griffin's going to find you, and K3 continue their dominance.
Up by 5. I mean, again, I think out of those 3 rounds, 2 of them probably could have went to Outcast in those first 3 rounds, but these last 2 we've seen a little bit more decisively here from K3, getting much more comfortable in the shoes here on Bay 5. Outcast still searching for that first round. They've been dangerously close, but they just haven't quite been able to solidify it yet.
And the question is, okay, if you're not going to be getting kills here for Ninja and Mr. Ken, then how can you contribute? By being a distraction could prove, but also getting off utility early. That's exactly what I want to see. Stoney Ninja takes down 1 to start things off. Malikan responds, but Ashen will have their head. Griffin will find Ashen as a compensation. It's a 2 down, and Yapper going to take out Griffin as well. Odds for Outcast.
Yapper letting the shotty sing. Letting the bullets ring across Bay 5 here. They've got the player advantage. The device now being planted. Reynolds and toward the back here, beginning to take the peek now through connector. Shots fired.
Oh, no.
Has been spotted. Halava shifting forward here as well, and Yapper goes down, but Stoney quick to trade it.
Oh, God. Reynold's going to be able to take down 1 as well. It's only Boost left to try to take him out around this tankard. They pop out, waiting for Boost to dare to make a move. But that device is, after all, planted already. You got to start the defuse, but Boosh has got to realize it. You got to step up right now, buddy. They do instantly, and with River, they actually are able to take him down. Outcast get on the board.
I mean, honestly, if Reynolds just would have kept his head tucked and diffused, he would have got that diffusal there.
Yes.
Boosh waited a bit too long, and all Boosh was trying to do was create that audio cue to get him off the bomb, which it did work, but he waited too long to do so. Had he stuck that defuse, they would have got it. It's a big round for the Outcast. They put the first one on the board. We'll see if they can begin to build off the back of this momentum.
Building off of Stoney Ninja there. I love the fact that he recognized I'm dying early. Why save my utility? Because you're right, Hot Sauce. You should be saving your utility in theory, but if you recognize you're at a disadvantage, you might as well let those grenades soar. See how good your throwing arm is. Get that spiral going, and it led to all of the other fruits of their labor. Unfortunately, not this time around. Malikan's the one to wet the board first with blood, and Jiras follows suit. Ashen is dead.
Malikan, a nice little off angle here as well. Boosh begins to shift from forklift, spotted immediately, and Malikan drops him with ease. Mr. Ken Stoney on the other side with the device, and now in a 5v2. Not an ideal situation. Peekaboo. And down goes Ken. Stoney finds a consolation prize, but he's going to need 4 more. And Griffin says, not today, baby.
Yeah, that was unfortunate to say the least. The fact that those nades didn't find their mark. That might be the win con here, though. I'm looking for Outcast. Just rain down hellfire from above. 1-6 here. We're starting to approach that half. And you want to see Outcast get one more round in their pockets beforehand, just so they can feel like that's not a fluke, just so they can feel like they can string together victories. 1 is certainly nice to restore a bit of mental fortitude, but 2 feels a lot better.
We saw the nade from Stony Ninja. Now, last week we saw several from Lost Japper, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen some more being thrown by Lost Japper, but I think he's given that role to someone else. He's on that Enforcer class. He's trying to eat up some space, kind of get toward that front line to maybe eat up some of those bullets while dishing out some damage, but haven't had as much success with that utility in the past. Yapper's going to get caught at mid. Malikan finds Ashen, and they combine for 2.
Just that amazing... They're taking advantage of the fact that there was Outcast. After Lost Yapper died, Ashen immediately felt the need to do something. And unfortunately, that resulted in 1 more member of K3 finding that kill. You got to make sure that if you're going to make those mad dashes out, it's the same thing we said for Pulse, that you're covering your bases, that you understand that the other threats could be lurking in the deep dark night. Boosh going to send Renwiz to the Night King, and Lava finds 2 before quickly being answered back by Boosh. 7-6, and now unfortunately answered back. Lucky 7s, both for kills and deaths. Giras going to make that the 7th round victory for K3.
Yeah, Malikan 13 on the board, Giras 10, and the rest of the crew falling in suit. 7-1 at halftime. It's a dominating half, but again, I'd say a minimum of 2 rounds, maybe complete a case for 3, but a minimum of 2 rounds that probably should have gone toward that Outcast side. So, I mean, realistically, you know, you could be looking at like a 5-3 situation right now. I think Outcast are playing very well against this tough team. They just haven't been able to clutch up a couple of those very close rounds, but I've loved the growth that this team has shown over the last couple months.
Absolutely, man. And again, the fact is, you know that they're still feeling good. And that's what matters. Look good, feel good, play good. Nades up over top. Let's see if the luck changes here in terms of if they find their marks. But no deaths grace the kill feed. Just only me the Willie Pete's out instead. Hot box in the cargo boxes just a little bit. But Outcast, hold firm. Trying to maintain the central positioning. And K3 take that long, winding path around the outside. When will they encounter each other is the question, since it seems like they got quite some distance between them.
A little bit of distance through the smoke. The Crabs continue to pressure forward. The device, though, is going to go down here with ease. And, well, we'll have to see what the Outcasts decide to do. That a minute and something turns to immediate 40 seconds, and now you're going to have to quicken the pace a bit.
Yeah, crab walk becomes a crab scuttle. Quickly make a crab dash out to no safety. Giras gonna find 1. Mr. Ken gets their first kill, but finds a second on top of Reynolds as well. Lost Yapper is dead, but K3 are gonna take it thanks to a massive triple by Griffin. Where the hell did that come from?
He killed those 3 players so fast that it took some time for the kill feed to catch up. But I think that crab walk turned into some nice crab legs for K3. They boiled them up in the pot. They're sitting 8-1 at match point here.
That was definitely all you can eat, baby. Hold the check, grab the tip. K3 looking for the last victory necessary to take this one home. Outcast rush out with violence in their eyes. Bloodlust is their prize. Can they find the kills necessary, though, for it? Ken says absolutely, but Griffin answers back in like fashion. A 1-for-1, though. Taking down Giras is certainly a good boon to the rest of the team. Now Boosh on the back. Could find an amazing flank. Oh, no!
The shots ring out, but they don't find the mark. He's going to get a second one on the Reynolds, though. Ashen picked up Griffin in the meantime, and Halava answers back. It's a 3v2. Make it a 2v2. Malikan strikes.
Come on, Yapper!
Him in the crosshair, and he blows his ankles out the back.
Malikan's going to dash out, trying to look for one more kill, but the captain leads in like fashion. And makes it a 2nd round victory for Outcast. They're not out just yet.
They are not ready to go silently into the night, but they are in deep water. And on the other side, it's the Sharks of K3. They smell blood in that water, and they're trying to finish this one up.
Mr. Ken has now stepped up alongside Ninja. This is exactly what you called for, Hot Sauce. You said, as long as these supporting pillars of the cast can start to get some kills on the board, start to wet that gun muzzle with some blood of their enemies, then we can start to see good things. Now, Outcast, it's going to be a long shot, but maybe, just maybe, they can start to pull this back from the depths of potential defeat. Around that corner, Stony Ninja waits for their opportunity, hides in the smoke, but maybe a bit too long. Griffin puts him down.
You can always count on a Stony Ninja being in smoke, but Ocean,
back.
The 2K, and he reels it back. Can he fight it through? He does. Jiros goes down, and Outcast, they are putting up one hell of a fight.
Going around for more of the peak. It's not enough, unfortunately. Going to get sneaked on right back to the pearly gates. Ken around the corner. Stony Ninja's down. It all comes down to them. And unfortunately, it's all going to come down to K3 victory. They're going to be able to take that one down, take the series as well. Overall, though, my gosh, a beautiful attempt by Outcast. You had my heart soaring. You had my heart playing for you, man. I was nearly a believer.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, 9-2 does not do that justice. So, I mean, realistically, it's probably like a 9-5 or so. But I'm actually pleasantly impressed with how well Outcast played. That was an exciting one to watch.
That was fun.
Even as I'm sitting here full of like hypeness and emotion, I don't feel like it was a 9-2, but I felt like it just took Stony and Mr. Ken maybe a little bit too long to get going in this one. You know, they started to come alive at the end. We saw a nice nade kill from Stony, but really impressed with Boosh and Lost Yapper here today, putting in some work. Obviously, they knew they had a tough task against them versus a team like K3, but I think if you're Outcast, you hold your head high. That was, for whatever reason, a really fun match to watch and to get the cast.
That was a joy. Again, new to the overall EU Tarkov scene. It's good to see people have fun with it, even at the highest level of play. They clearly take it serious in the right moments. Like, they're not by any means trying to give this any less gravitas than the event deserves, but they approach it with a whimsy that I really appreciate, and even if they don't come with a victory, they've certainly won the people's hearts. That being said, K3 are the actual victors. They will be the ones advancing on in that bracket, and credit to them. They also played a fantastic game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that they do well time in and time out. I mean, this is a very consistent team, which is why we've seen them been making waves and wakes across the EU scene. So a big GG's to K3. Again, a great group of individuals as well. So it's always nice to see people with a great attitude winning. We do have those captain spotlights ready here for both of these squads, but it is going to be an interesting matchup nonetheless.
Absolutely. So let's see what we got cooking here. Mr. Public on Sicario. See. Naughty, naughty. Do your homework, buddy. Come on now. Get that extra credit. Walker certainly has. That's an A+ student right there. Nothing but 4.0s in the report cards. I'm sure his mommy and daddy are very proud.
Well, he is the +1 arena player in EU at the moment, so it doesn't surprise me. Mr. Public on the other side, Sicario, the gamer, the actor, he does it all. 1,000+ hours, 1.03. The C is the rating. Assault is the class. He's ready to show everybody what he's got out here in this next matchup.
Yep. It's going to be interesting. I mean, maybe those theatrical skills can help you. You pretend you're dead. Is that something you can do? I don't think there's a key for that. But maybe Mr. Public could try to, just act them to death instead. We'll see what they've got as they begin a long soliloquy. A Shakespearean tragedy could potentially be set up, or maybe a Shakespearean triumph if Mr. Public and the rest of Sicario Academy are able to cut down the forces of Outcast EPA and cast them out from the bracket. Already, Walkers had to watch as their franchise brother-in-arms were downtrodden and executed, and I'm sure they want to avenge them.
Well, we'll see if they can do just that. Again, it's only a best of one, so every round incredibly crucial here in this one. And before we head into the match, though, let's take a quick look at those lineups here for both squads. On the side of Outcast, EPA, Walker, Blitzer Girl, Nimanas, Fox, and Stripey coming in.
On the other side, you have Sicario Esports gal Curis Melly hiding sheep, but really it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Big cows as well. So I'm sure that we're going to have quite the matchup slated up for us here today as we look to hop into the bowl itself and see what's shaking, see what's for dinner, rather what's for breakfast, what cereal we got cooking up. Sicario Esports up against Outcast CPA. This one very well could be the upset we've been looking for.
Very well could be. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I don't see Mr. Pudlick in the roster here. We've got Gal or old Props stepping in, hiding cheap as well, Melly. So a couple new names filling in here today. So I'm not sure if it's a sub or some roster changes that have happened here for Sicario Esports. But nonetheless, we'll see if they've got what it takes to topple the legends of Outcast EPA.
That's definitely an interesting decision and an interesting point you make, the fact that the captain is not leading from the field. Maybe like any top brass in the military, they just prefer to command from afar. They're saying, yeah, go on, you guys do that. I'm going to eat a corned beef sandwich in the back line here where I don't have to get shot at by some of the best EU has to offer. But that's interesting, and it lends to a question of how does the chemistry vibe here? How well do they gel together? Because if this is indeed a sub lineup or if this is some last-minute roster changes come through, sometimes that can very well affect, whether for good or for bad, how the team plays as a whole.
And it does look like Mr. Pudlick just not able to make it today, so it is only a sub, but we will waste no more time getting into this one. We are ready for Bowl. Sicario Academy taking on Outcast EPA.
Ground's already flattened, and you can tell the Willy Pete's going to be just that one where you're useful. You don't have those off angles, that high ground you can take. No Obi-Wan strategy here today. It's all flattened, and we're trying to flatten the competition if you're Sicario Academy. But already, things starting off, as you might expect, Outcast able to find one.
I just watched that movie yesterday with my son, ironically enough, but
oh, nice.
You all right? Outcast EPA taking that first one on the cows. Walker,
it's a good one.
Taking a little bit of damage, but on that Enforcer class, where it has been home for him. Blitzer Girl, that one locking down the B site. They've pushed up forward lane here, though. Now we see everything kind of slowed down again with that initial pick coming in from EPA.
Xenomono's trying to flush out any potential near-dwellers in the back line, but you can see slowly winding that noose around Chris's neck. They were trying to flank, and instead they were the one who got shanked. Walker will fall. Toes takes them down. Finds a second one as well. 2 toes down. Aim will fall in trace. 2 versus 3, but Sicario still stands strong. No, not quite. Melly and Toes quickly vivisected, and it's going to be Outcast that win the first round.
Able to take that first one. Got to keep your eye on Nemo and Fox as well, 2 other ones that tend to go on some crazy. That's the problem with this team is every single individual on Outcast EPA is top tier, chef's kiss, if you will. So even if you pick off the quote-unquote juggernaut or the raid boss of the crew, you still got 4 more to deal with.
And that's really frustrating because sometimes we do see those cases where there is that one star player, and once you take them out, the rest of the team is a bit softened up. But no, not the case here. That burden, that responsibility is shared by all 5 members. And that's a really great thing for Outcast. Sicario, though, maybe kind of shaking their fist at the sky saying, why you little? We'll see if they can try to put up more of a resistance. And that sniper, you saw the marksman, you talked about it earlier, Hot Sauce. We're seeing it on the kill feed.
Chris, so good with that snipe. Chris Cross will make you jump into an early grave. Nemo being patiently here on the other side of the smoke. It's Fox, spots one toward A-Plat. That device begins to shift toward Curtain here, but they've got to wait for that smoke to begin to dissipate before pressuring forward. I don't see any smokes of their own here. Maybe to smoke off Jin or headshot lane.
Good look for the flank here, and you can see Sicario is considering it. 3 members hold down the left side. Outcast sends some shots out. Stripey loads back up, tries to make sure they're back up to full health. Want to make sure that you're not stepping up unprepared. Caught unawares. Stripey advances, rejoins the rest of the team, but thinks better of it. They're just going to try to wait for Sicario to engage them. They are the attackers after all. They've got to make a move.
40 seconds on the clock. We see them beginning to shift back toward the B site here. Walker, though, waiting patiently. This is typically where we see Blitzer Girl holding it down by herself, but it is Walker this time.
Wow.
Chris is going to find the snipe on the Stripey. Walker will get Toes, and Toes goes down.
Oh, Melly's going to be able to find Walker in trade. Now it's looking like the Sicarios can advance on forth through sheer numbers. They cut down Nimonas. And Fox going to be the last one hunted down. Get the hounds out. Sicario are looking for the last player.
Fox all alone here. Aim for thorax. I'm thinking maybe that's hiding sheep. See if the sheep and chase down the Fox. It's normally the other way around, but old Big Cows will find him first. And Sicario says, we're not letting this one get out of hand. We're all tied up 1-1.
That's great. That feels amazing, man. The fact they're able to, yes, you can't take the first round. Honestly, I kind of almost like this better. I like the fact that we're taking a round in response to an Outcast victory. The first round's like, yeah, we expected that. That's fine. We can still fight, though. Let's show you what games we brought to play. And it's going pretty intense so far. Can Sicario keep that up, though? Really comes from Chris and their contributions on the sniper rifle on this TRG. Now, can they get it again? Knowing the fact that Outcasts know the fact that Chris is going to be looking for the long range.
Yeah, no TRGs, no snipes on the side of Outcast EPA. And we talked about how this is a map that certainly could benefit a talented sniper. Nemo talked early, might hear the audio cue of Hiding Sheep jumping across there, who is under the name Aim for Thorax. Fox has taken a little bit of damage, but these rounds are a lot slower than what we're used to seeing.
I like that, though. From Outcasts, again, if you're technically the more skilled players, it makes more sense to try to play as methodical. Let your technicals speak for themselves, and Fox needs nothing to speak from except for the flash of a muzzle. Toes drops down. Fox looks for more. Device equipped there to Melly. Back to cover, and back to two more members of OT waiting in the back line. But again, Outcasts are going to wait for you to make that move. They're not going to let Sicario have this one easily.
Well, 50 seconds to work with. They don't have to get too crazy just yet. You can see Melly. He's tucked just on the other side of the curtain with the device, but shots ringing out dangerously close to the dome. Toes has gone down, and it's a 5v4 at the moment.
Ability being thrown out there by Outcast just to force Sicario back. You see that shift. They're moving potentially back to that B side. 3 members coalesce. But one's going to be still holding down that right flank to try to track the movements of Outcast and report back for any data that might be needed. But Blitzer Girl, like you said, holding down that point and dropping down Melly. Device on the ground. Sicario only have 15 seconds to make a play.
Yeah, the device is down in an awkward spot here as well. Fox is going to find Chris. Stripey looking to hold toward mid as Cows picks up on the Walker. Stripey tries to shift out. Blitzer Girl has been holding down the site. Almost gets caught off guard. Now the repeat.
Nice.
And the shots to the dome. Cows falls to the dirt. And Outcast EPA will take their second round.
It's exactly what you would expect. Outcasts, again, they not only win based on the advantage of being more technically skilled, they also win by the advantage of we're defending. If you guys want to drain that clock, that's fine by us. We're going to force you to make a move some point in the round if you don't want to just go down to time, which it unfortunately did. You can see Sicario, they got desperate at the end there. Understandably so. You only had 5 seconds to make the wipe happen, but it comes a bit too late. So we need to see a bit more offensive movement. We need to see them, if you're going to execute those shifts from A to B side, maybe just a bit quicker, or try to have a misdirection. Maybe attempt the shift, but then double back and try to find some kills.
Oh,
wow!
Nice.
Double need from downtown. Bang!
Those two dudes folded faster than an envelope. Well, Melly was in there. So one dude, one lady folding faster than a lawn chair over here from that nade. It was deep. Not sure who was credited with those 2 kills there, but a nice nade. And honestly, you talked about the strategy. They've got to at B this time, but a lot of times there's one on that B side. I wouldn't mind seeing 2 smokes toward Jen, headshot of the A site, and then 5-man toward B, but you got to be careful of those early nades.
Ooh, it was an attempt at the peak, but the sheep's going to go down. Lamb shanks for dinner. Fox gobbles them up. That's the food chain we expect. Cal's now in the back, trying to make that rotation. Once again, it is being held down by Blitzer, and you're looking the wrong way. But now you might know, or do they still not? Makes that peek and nearly gets put down at the feet. Blitzer Girl eats some bullets in response, but can be able to heal back up. It's a 2v5. Definitely not favoring Sicario this round.
Yeah. Blitzer Girl will begin to heal back up off the stem. Chris on the peak here. Nemo tucked up top. We can see him beginning to shift toward the B site here with the device, but
nice.
40 seconds. Chris threading the needle, finds Nemonos, and it's an early pick to start things off. They got to get through 4 more.
God, and now you only have the TRG against 4 members. I think that's not going to be the case. OT agree. They're going to take that round easily. It's now 3-1 in their favor. I think the issue just there is you're getting outmaneuvered in this case, or rather outmatched, out-countered. They understand that a sniper rifle is waiting for us to move, peek our heads. We're not going to do that. We're on defense. Come to us, all right? We invited you to our house. Don't, just like stick around the outside. Just let the cat out of the bag. Come on, see what you got. And what they have in those moments is not much because Chris can't find any offensive pressure, can't find any picks, leaves Sicario at a major disadvantage up close.
And I think it was Walker that got that double nade kill, but you can see they're shifting back to the 4v1 situation here, and it's because they just had so much success at the B side. They know that Sicario isn't going to want to pressure back there, and if I was Sicario, I'd love to see him go right back to the same site, but Walker, he's got the heat-seeking nades. He's going to find one more to open up round number 5.
Yeah, this utility is looking awfully scary from Outcast. Haven't seen a single nade kill yet from Sicario, and now starting to get flanked out a little bit. You see on that right side, one member of OT wrapping around, but not even maybe going to be necessary as Fox hunts down too. The Sheep and Chris both going to go down, and slowly that noose continues to wind around Sicario's neck.
What does the Fox say? Well, this one says, brrr, he's putting bodies in bags, and he's not done just yet. Fox finds Cal. It's another headshot.
Oh, man!
Was that an ace?
Nearly. I believe there was
Walker
one
got the
nade
first
kill.
one. Yeah,
one nade
Walker
denies
got the
him
first
it.
one.
I'm sure Fox is pissed about that. That was darn close. Fox is like, yo, come on now, man. That's what the Fox says. Dude, give me my accolades. Give me my creds, and we will with avail. That was beautiful work. And you had that flank coming from OT too, so you really just had nothing there left from Sicario. These utility kills are putting Sicario in such a dizzying decline in what they feel like they can do that they're just frozen to the spot, rooted in place, and OT are here to clean up the weeds.
Yeah. Hard to be mad when you're winning quite a bit, though. So I'm sure Fox will deal with that, that 4K instead. But 8 on the board. You got to be happy. 4 for Blitzer Queen and for Walker. As we see some of that utility begin to rain
my
down.
God!
Walker's not done yet. He's like Oprah Winfrey. You get an aid. You get an aid. Look under your chair. Everybody gets an aid. His toes will finally snuff out the flame that is Fox.
Walker gonna come around the corner, says, nades are nice, but I also get the Piranha to boot. Chris finds the up-close and personal quickscope, and Walker will fall in trade. 3v3 so far, but Cows puts it in Sicario's favor. Nemo, though, we found them! So did Melly, going to take them out in trade after Chris goes down. That's okay. You didn't want the sniper in this scramble situation anyway. Blitzer Girl makes that Blitzkrieg play around the corner, but can they find Melly? The device is already down.
Blitzer Girl will begin to shift forward. She has been a clutch factor before. Looks to do so again. Does she spot the arm? She does. Cows on the peak, and she finds him.
But they got no bullets left in the mag. Melly's going to be able to finish it off as they take it for Sicario. That was close, let me tell you. And now Walker with this utility is doing such an amazing job at putting Sicario on the back foot without them really actually being able to see their quarry, see their opponents. But then it all comes down to the fact that Chris equalizes it, Cows finds those kills necessary, and they're able to lock in and actually shut it out. The first time I think we actually got to see a real good player on the objective. It's oftentimes come down to just the kills, but now Sicario may be finding their rhythm around that A point. Just can't see that B side, I suppose, ever. It's just not working out from them around there.
Yeah, that one came down to the 1v1 of the ladies. Melly coming out on top this time. Fox out toward the B site. Doing a good job of mixing up the strategies. Fox is going to find Chris. Excuse me, that was toward the A site there. Over toward med side here. And now the spray. Going to be Sheep to find Fox. So they've got a little duel going back and forth here as well.
The corner, Nemo looking for the sequel. Disney does love to make those happen. Makes it happen on top of Toast as well. Cows will fall at Blitzer Girl's hands. Melly, the sole survivor. Maybe Blitzer Girl says, rematch me right now, get the ISO play. I don't think you're going to be quite getting that lucky as all the members of OT slowly wind around. A minute left, but I don't think you're going to be given the luxury to spend that time. Oh!
Blitzer Girl from behind gets taken out by Melly.
Dang. ISO didn't go that well. maybe he should have all gone out, I guess. Sicario at least have that accolade to their advantage. Melly now, maybe emboldened, empowered, feels that ability to actually get this clutch off. A 1v3. We've seen stranger things here before at Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, Melly certainly has a tough task in front of him. A little bit of a peek there. A pixel will leg it backwards on the other side. Has to get through 3 here with only 25 seconds on the clock.
I don't know if Walker saw before Melly was able to dive, duck, dodge back into cover. But they are going to move forward now. But they're looking towards the wrong side themselves. Melly about to be caught by the left hook from Walker around that corner. Two members rise to meet ya, and Melly falls to the floor. It's going to be one more round victory for Outcast. Makes it 5-2.
Well, they've definitely been putting in some hard work. I mean, they've already gotten a couple rounds against this pro team, and I've had a couple close ones as well. I think this utility has been a big difference maker for Outcast EPA. The nades of Walker have been relentless, finding these early picks, setting themselves up with that player advantage. We'll see if they can continue to do so. It's the final round of the first half.
It's been very, very impressive given the fact this is the top EU team. Sicario are really holding their own. 2 rounds down in this first half, and potentially a third, is nothing short of impressive. Now Walker sets their sights on the sky, launches up that nade, will not have similar luck this go around. Sicario breathe a big sigh of relief seeing that utility's offline.
A little bit of breathing room. Still got 5 members with guns in hand, waiting patiently. Like the smoke. Look to rain down towards sight. The flash comes in to follow here as well. Stripey up over top, just trying to get a little bit of a peek here.
Pace is down to a crawl. Fox trying to hunt down their prey. Shoots off the bullets, but can't find the mark. Walker serving as the step stool.
Full moon.
Quite literally the walker, you know? Yeah, sometimes you gotta make sure that gotta make sure that your friends are supported by your own 2 legs if necessary. Namone going to be able to support themselves by dropping Melly. Backing up their friend Blitzer Girl. Toes responds back by dropping Fox. Nemo takes down Toes as well. 2-for-1 trade, not in favor of Sicario, but they can still bat back. Chris up close and personal, not the best place to be. Launches off that sniper shot. They know exactly where you are.
Woo! Almost took the head off Nemonos just slightly above there. Walker's gonna find
they get one!
Hiding Sheep was hiding, but he's been sheared. Nemonos will find Chris as well, and it's all down to Cows, who will join his teammates in a 6 feet grave. Nice commanding lead here at halftime, 6-2.
Overall there, I think the issue is when Chris is in these scenarios, you can hope for the 1-for-1 trade, but we really want to see Chris trying to get off multiple shots here that are finding the mark, obviously. It's a very simple thing to say, much harder to get done. Only we're able to give Nemo a bit of a haircut there when you want to take a bit more off the top, maybe a couple more inches down. But because they were in that scramble situation stat up close, where the meters separating you are not too far away, you had that really good rotation from Stripey to put them down before they could cause too much damage. So the issue is, I'd like to see Chris stand from farther back, but OT doing such a great job luring them in. Now with the side switched, this is where I expect Chris to do their damage, or Nemo to find 2 with the nade itself. OT are unmatched with these lob shots.
They went to find Nemo, but all they found was a nade to the face. It's another 2K. Stripey pressures in, find Cows, and that completely opens up the B site. We've seen Sicario Melly beginning to shift toward mid here, but the device will go down with ease, and it's going to be all up to Sicario in a 2v5 retake.
The best utility would be a rain jacket for Sicario. I'm not sure if that's an item you can equip, but I think they could use it the way these nades come raining down. Sheep's going to be able to find Blitzer Girl. It's a good start to try to regain the momentum in your favor, or just assuage and assure yourself that this is still a tenable round. But that device is down, only 35 seconds remain. A very stalwart defense being set up here by Outcast.
Well, Sheep jumping across, looking for a peek, spots one, shots ring out. A little bit of damage, but not enough as Fox finds one. Melly from behind, but can't get the second. Outcast EPA 1 away from match point.
Melly got a bit too excited there, drops the gun, enters a dead long sprint, only to be dead long before they could actually get any more kills off instead. Nonetheless, I think you chalk that up to just really good utility play. Now, does that mean it's a fluke? No, because this has been a repeat action. We see consistently our friends on Outcast are able to control and predict the movements. Makes it even more impressive when you really think about it, Hot. They are not with their normal leader. You don't have Puddle there to back them up in their normal scenario, and maybe they're used to the cool, calm, collected, assuaging words of their leader, but instead they're being assuaged by bullets and grenades as Blitzer finds one more nade on top, and the shots from Nemo bring down Chris. It's a 2v5.
I think Stripey's the only one to not get an aid kill yet for Outcast EPA, and a few of them
Embarrassing.
certainly have a ton of dog tags, but Cows will go down. Hiding Sheep will follow suit as Fox continues to shear the sheep, and with that, Outcast EPA find themselves at match in series point.
I'm actually, I gotta say, just a quick comment on this. I've actually had quite a lot of experience with sheep shearing. Well, I watch YouTube shorts of it a lot. It's been in my algorithm a lot. So I'm very familiar with watching this experience, and it's normally supposed to be very comfortable for the sheep, but I think Aim Thorax is probably not having the best of time with it. I'd like to see them instead pick up those clippers themselves and start to shear off the heads of OT. Last round potentially on the standings here. Let's see what they're made of. Let's see what these nades are made of, because clearly they've got some sort of infrared material that's got them getting these kills to Sicario. This time we will manage to evade it, so it's a clean 5v5 fight, and Cal starts it off with Nemo's head.
Oh, Blitzer and Foxer answer right back, and even though we may not have been a sheep shearer, we did stay at a Holiday Inn last night, so we got all the skills we need. Sheep Toes finding 2 picks of their own.
Nice!
Melly finds Fox in Sicario Academy looking to turn it around, but Stripey trying to find a clutch. He's found one. He needs 2 more. He's not going to get it as Toes jumps up and puts Stripey in the dirt. Sicario Academy backs against the walls, but they're not done just yet.
This is what happens when you don't let the utility get the better of you. You have a 5v5 clean fight, and honestly, some of the trades at the very beginning were looking perilous, but Sicario held firm. They had all 5 members to sacrifice all 5 members to keep those guns firing. 8-3, first time we got to see actually one of these bottomer teams take more than 2 rounds. So you're already making history here in these quarterfinals. Let's see if you can make any more victories to your name.
One more round is all they need, and Nemo yet again finds the 2K from downtown. Call it a Kobe.
You're on the naughty list. Clearly, Santa's not going to be helping you this year around. We'll have a Cole and Melly stalking some bullets into Mona's backside, as Sheep's going to be able to take at least 1 member of OT down, but it's a 2v4.
2v4 and only 1 round to go. Cows will put a hailstorm of bullets downfield, but it's Blitzer Girl who sings proud. Sheep finds the trade back. But all alone in a world of hurt, Fox will find Sheep yet again. 9-3. Your final score is Outcast EPA will punch their ticket into the semifinals.
Man, it's Sicario. I'm burning any VHS copy of Nemo that I have. I hate Finding Nemo. I hate that movie now. Actually, I'm a big fan personally, but now, not anymore, gosh darn it. Outcast played that very, very well. They played to their strengths, understanding how impactful utility could be. We saw some nade kills in the prior Outcast match up against K3, but never that devastating, never to that extent where you're consistently finding doubles off the very beginning of the round. It's incredibly impressive from Outcast CP that they're able to keep that up, not just make it a fluke, not just make it a lucky shot. No, it's a habit. Only for Frags got quite the lineup themselves, all assembled beneath Darkin, Wicked, no rest for them, Senna and Dansker, Mike the Liar, best NPC of Skyrim fame, but hopefully they're going to be able to operate a bit more under player control. You don't want to see any NPCs on the battlefield today.
Definitely not, but you don't have to worry about it with this crew because, again, between all 10 of these players, there is so much talent littered across both of these rosters. It's going to be an exciting, fun match for sure. And again, on Ford, I think, Pandaric Apex, very comfortable on this map, but we haven't seen them on this map in a little while. They've been running a ton of Skybridge Bowl. We've seen a Bay 5 come back into their rotation as well. And so excited to see this Ford act.
They've been hopping on in. Not the pillow forts that I'm used to. A bit less barbed wire in the ones that I make, but, you do you. The aesthetics can be your choice. Take a quick little look on through. Thanks, Raven, for the obs. And thank you very much, Pandark, there for the 2 kills. Already 2 members off the mark.
2 members go down. Dan Skewer finds a pick on the Rapid, though. Let's continue, Mike. Spraying down toward the site here. Pandaric looking for an early plant. They're going to get the device down, and that minute plus becomes 45 seconds now as Mike finds Ballistic.
Oh, that's trouble there from utility. Forces a step up there from Dansker, who drops down Okag with ease. Now Pandaric, only 1 member remaining. Shroud fan going to be trying to stay alive, fan the flames of victory. Device already starting to get the defuse right off. It's going to be a first round victory here instead only for frags. And that's exactly what you wanted to see, Hot Sauce. If you're a fan of these scrappy underdogs, you want to see them take the lead early.
Love it, bro. I said this. I mean, only 4 frags, a really fun team to watch, and just a ton of talent between Dan Skewer out here. Ironically, not on the marksman class here today. It's going to be play Smoke, who is stepping in, I think, maybe for Cinna on that side. And Smoke is another. We always say the smoke and mirrors because very good on this marksman role.
That's just fantastic to see, the fact that they're able to play with that confidence, rush forward, take the trades where they come. Wicked waits and wait. Smokes one to start. And it's a response in earnest from Pandaric. Bakizi able to take down one. And Rapid finds one more. 2-for-1 trade, not the worst situation here, especially when you have that hot hand. But it seems that you were staring at the walls a bit too much there. The captain will fall.
Captain goes down for the time being, but Pandaric Apex, I mean, 4 players standing tall here. Dan Skewer and Mike hard stacked against him momentarily, and now wall staring is going to find the snipe onto Dan Skewer. Mike the Liar, a bit of trouble here.
I'm not sure if you've experienced this in Skyrim. They've got guns here a bit better than swords. Mike will be cut down. That's going to be a 1-to-1, quickly responded to. Evens the odds for Pandaric. What you'd expect, but nonetheless, not the worst situation here. We just want to make sure that that first round isn't just a surprise. It's not just us using all of the cards that we had left up our sleeves. No, make sure that you're still staying ambitious, still stay tricky, still stay bloodthirsty.
Gotta stay bloodthirsty, especially in a game like Tarkov. Can't get complacent. Has to continue to do and find what works for you and your squad. Smoke trying to get up into an advantageous position here with the snipe. Up close and personal, and it's Cacao to find Darkin. Is he done? No. He's zigging and zagging. He's got the moves like Jagger. He finds 2. And Bakizi will pick up on Wicked. Crank finds Mike, and it's Dan all alone.
Yeah, Dan's about to be on the skewer in a second. They know exactly where you are at this point. None of those bullets going to be able to result in any kills. They blind fire through the smoke. They rush forward as well. A daring move for Dan. Unfortunately, it's not going to quite work as Danny is turned into a phantom. One more round goes there, Pandaric.
Well, Pandaric, they're in the driver's seat for the time being, but we talked about only 4 frags, needing to make sure they get at least one of the first 3 rounds. They've been able to do that. Now they just have to make sure they continue to build off of the back of that. When that magic number is only 9, I mean, every round very important, and it's important to be able to put multiple rounds on the board in a row.
So far, Pandaric are on that 2-round streak. They advance forward, marching one by one. Darkin on prone, tries to look for the shots, gets some decent damage off on top of one, but it's Bakizi to find the first kill on Wicked. Darkin will drop as well. They wiggle no longer as they lie dead on the floor. And off-play Smoke will fall too. Maik and Dan, oftentimes the last 2 remaining, but can they find any kills to their name? Maik certainly can't as they're added to the board.
Oh, Cal will wrap it up. It's a flawless round for Pandaric Apex. They may have stumbled a bit in those first 2 rounds, but they are back to full form. They've found their stride, and that is when this team begins to get very, very dangerous.
Once again, man, Pandas, I'm telling you. Everyone's like, oh, so cute, so fluffy. Not these guys. Nope. No, sir. You don't want to give them any bamboo. They're going to skewer you with it and use like a shish kebab. Gobble you up for dinner. Pandaric, step up. 3-1 in the pocket. It's going to be a 3-2 split here. The offensive forces trying to maybe divide and conquer here as Darkin will be able to find one before they go down. Off-play Smoke answers the board. It's a 2 down for 2 so far. But the captain still stays alive. Off-play Smoke quickly is able to drop down Crank. Says, go back to the bench where you belong. Smoke, though, will fall. Ballistic Picnic has got the bullets in for you. Dan skewers the rest. And now it's going to be an answer back there. Beautiful work from Frag.
Yeah, Dark and Dan Skewer. I love watching Dan Skewer. He is so fun to watch. And I haven't seen him on the scout class too much, so I'm getting a little bit of a treat today. But, man, him on that RSAS is just something else. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him maybe swap once they switch sides. They have been running a double marksman at time, and it has worked out for them, but they've gathered 2 rounds here of the first 5. And again, you already got to be proud, but you can't let it get to your head. You have to continue to focus up and try to win some more rounds.
Again, use that anger to make sure that it's a cold fire, doesn't blaze out of control. Smokes drop down, but it's going to be a misdirection as you see all Panderic rotate instead to be trying to overwhelm the forces, but Smoke has the marksman ready, but has to stand ready at attention. Launches off a shot, but can't get the drop. Still saying safe for now.
Wait for the time being, but Cacao is going to find Smoke. Those Piranha rounds shred the flesh, and now they'll begin to pile onto the site. They jump across, and they don't find Cacao. This could be trouble.
No, they slow it down.
Teammates.
That was brilliant use by Ballistic Picnic of their own teammate. Cacao says, oh, so tragic. You shot your friend? Don't worry, I'll put you out of your misery. What a brilliant play by Cacao. My God. Okay, 2 members left. Mike stands alongside the Captain Darkin, but the Willie Pete could leave you in defeat. They got to make a move now.
Oh. While staring finds a pick on the mic, but Wiggle.
Let's go!
He says, you're not the only one the team killed. Darkin will make things go dark for Cacao now on a 2v1. It's a tough position to be in. Only 25 seconds.
They're caught in no man's. Oh, no man's land for Darkin. They just didn't know where to go. You could tell it was a scramble situation, and they just were running around like a chicken with their head cut off. That's okay. Panderic actually will remove that head from his shoulders. 2-4. And I gotta say, man, that was hectic. 2 team kills, 1 for each side, so at the very least, they even the odds there. But what a brilliant play by Cacao. I just want to talk about that again. Using your opponent as a shield to another opponent is brilliant. And in that moment, you have to trust them. You've got, as Smoke, to trust Dan to finish the kill, because otherwise you're just going to put yourself in danger. That's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, tough spot to be in. Smoke trying to play up close personal with this TRG. We'll see if he has some success. Wicked on the jiggle peak here. We see that flash begin to rail in, and with that, maybe a little bit of a stampede to follow shortly after. Smoke's
got to stay grounded behind that barricade. Last time they were smoked out and then smoked permanently. Dropping down low. Dan Skewer, the first one to drop down to 0. It's going to be Cacao to take the shots off, and they find a second one as well. Smoke has been eliminated. Wicked will drop 1. Takes down Rapid as well as Codex, but it's going to be the response back from Cacao on the heater, off the triple. Only Mike stands strong.
Mike, 1v3, not an ideal situation, but the hip fire. Nice. And the pre-fire finds the headshot onto Cacao. It makes things a bit feasible.
Okay, see if we can get anything more done. Nice shots there on top of Okag. Oh, God, though. That's going to be a bit too much to handle. The captain is still the last one left remaining and leads by example as they take down Mike and take the 5th round.
I love Panderic, but I was hoping that Mike was going to find that clutch there. It's been an exciting match. And again, another one where there's, maybe 1 or 2 of these rounds could have gone either way. I'm really proud of how only 4 frags is playing. And if they just stepped it up just a little bit, they could be on top here. But Panderic Apex, consistency is king. It's something they're known for. Cacao already at 12 kills.
That is gosh darn impressive. Worth noting, hey, at the very least, only the frags are actually doing a good job spreading the love, spreading the kills rather. And unfortunately, it's going to be spread right back to Smoke. Darkin responds back, takes down the captain. The Wicked will fall in trade. Cacao continues. Rapidly makes quick work of Darkin as well. Dan skewers down Wiggles. Which does mean that Rapid is done ski for now. 2 for 2, 2 for 3 rather. But you can see that Cacao is nursing an awfully low health bar.
Not a ton of health on that Enforcer class here as well. Dan Skewer letting some shots sing downfield as the smoke begins to plume out. Mike's going to find Cacao, though, now on a 2v2. Nice
job by Mike. Starting to come back. The NPC now taking control. Destiny is firmly in their hands. I'm no liar in saying that frags certainly have a chance at this one. But they got to try to make a quick rotation back around. They make the open daring move, but while staring, going to leave Dan staring into oblivion. Now it's a 2v1 for Mike to try to face the odds. But with Codex still up, alongside Krent. It's going to be a difficult case. They're both in open cover. 20 seconds remain. How do you get the defuse off? Ooh!
Oh, Mike almost got the clutch last time. Can he find it here? Oh, there's no rounds in the mag. There's a click, but no boom to follow. And Crank will crank out another round when it's 6-2 at halftime.
That stinks. That's so unfortunate. That was such a good attempt by Maik. They should absolutely be happy with the performance they put up. Sadly, sometimes you just don't have enough bullets in the magazine. It's a numbers game, and they were on the losing end of it. And you look at the leaderboard on the losing end of that one, too, 2-6. But it's nonetheless impressive that they were able to start things off with that pretty solid footing. How many rounds are you expecting them to be able to take on this end before... Actually, no, hold on. It's about to be side switching right now in that case, so now we can see how they do on that rotational ability when it's going to be frags on offense instead.
Smoke off the marksman class onto assault, but we are running that double marksman. Dan Skewer back on the RSAS, and it looks like he has a friend that will be joining him on the RSAS as well. That's going to be wicked. We'll see what they got. I was hoping they could get at least 4 rounds. They probably already should have 4, but it's Bikizi up close and personal. Then a vice goes down, and he gets a second.
Just hip fired, finds the head. I don't know how he did it, but dear God, Bikizi, okay. Nope, extra player hours needed, says, I use my time a bit more efficiently than that. Kodak's going to be able to finish off Smoke as well. A nigh perfect start here for Panderic. Sure, you have Shroud being a bit damaged, but I'm sure Bikizi's going to be just fine with that. Only Maik and Dan Skewer stand strong once more.
Oh, Mike has been dangerously close to 2 clutches already. Has fallen just short, but they need almost a miracle in this one. Mike does get caught by Rapid once the smoke begins to dissipate. Dan Skewer on the RSAS. Unfortunately, 5-1. Not a great position to be in. Panderic 1 away from match point.
Man, oh man. Panderic have just not looked back since starting that streak up. But now they can just keep on moving forward. And only for frags being left in the dust. But can they keep it going? Can Panderic stamp out these scraggly upstarts that have been trying to put up a fight? Only for frags so far. Have really only found that stride at the beginning. And they still are finding kills to string together. It's not like these rounds are never close. But the issue is they're starting to get outpaced. Nades come in from up top. And Wicked comes up with the shots. Captain goes down.
Captain down for now. Shots ring out, and it's Crime for a quick 2K. Mike finds his teammate with an aid. And Lemony Snicket's again lurking about. It's a series of unfortunate events that fall onto off, and it's all down to Darkin, who finds the head of Cacao, but only for a moment. The moment's gone. Panderic Apex back on top.
Tragic, tragic, tragic. These team kills just come at the worst moments. And this would certainly be a top 5 bad time to shoot your friend, because it's going to be that match point taken up here by Panderic. Now, at the very least, only for frags, we're able to take 2 rounds off. It's 2 more than I'm sure many naysayers would have said they were capable of. But can they do even more? We're talking Mike the Liar. We're talking about our ESO Sky quests, trying to get that experience up, trying to get those levels. And maybe just getting 1 more round is what you're looking for before you look towards grander things. So far, though, no kills on the board. Playing one a bit more slow. Panderic, fan out. Okay, looks for 1. Finds Smoke to start, but Dan will skewer them in return.
And Crank goes down, back to a 4v4. Only 4 frags, backs against the wall. It's do or die at this point. Wicked begins to shift toward. Now things slow down drastically, but only for a moment. Mike falling here to Bikizi. Cacao finds Wicked, and just in a matter of seconds, they get toppled.
Oh, Dan. Well, at the very least, no one can team kill you this time around. Tries to find the shots off the peak that you really needed to get it there. Okay. At the very least, is able to take down 1. But still, definitely not the best odds. Cranks out of it. Can you find this one on top of Cacao? Bow bow. Bye-bye. Dan Skewer going to be able to find 1 more. Wiggle and Shroud still left, though, and that's going to be curtains. As Panderic will take it 9-2.
Yeah, again, I mean, we saw some great rounds for only 4 frags, a couple that they probably should have clutched as well. And I felt like they probably should have had at least 4 rounds in that one, maybe 5. But again, it's a great test. You're playing against the recent champions of HPL. You're coming from that semi-pro league, kind of getting your footing. So even though the scoreline is 9-2, I feel like again it doesn't really do them justice because they played
Yes.
very well against this tough team. But at the end of the day, it is 9-2, and we have to give a big GG's over toward Pandaric Apex. Yeah, we're going to be headed to bowl. But before we do that, we got to take a quick look at the captain spotlights here for both of these two teams. On the side of Decoded, we've all come to know and love them. Ashtray Pot, 1,500 plus hours, 1.37 on the KD. He's a B plus on the rating, and a marksman is a class that he enjoys, although I've seen him on a few different classes as well.
1,500 hours, dear God. B plus and B, so at the very least, not bumping down a grade level quite just yet. That being said, Malikan was our most lethal player prior, so when your captain is able to do so much work on top of the communications they might be in charge of, on top of just being the leader for the team, leading by example is a really solid way to go about things. Ashtray had some solid flanks, if I recall correctly, in their first round up against Pulse, but they definitely weren't necessarily the only one popping off. So I'm curious to see how that translates onto the field once we get into things.
Yeah, I mean, this is I'm all up for this match. As much as I would have liked to maybe seen Pandaric and EPA in the final, we get our final early, and then we get to see two really close competitive teams go at it. Ashtray, Wraith, Calls, a player that I've really had my eye on, Agurkus, Denny, a lot of talent over here. They've been in that pro scene. K3 winning ASPL, stepping into the pro scene, performing very well, getting their ticket into ACS. This is going to be a phenomenal matchup.
Yeah, Malikan, Jiras, HL Lava, Griffin, and Reynolds all ready for the chopping block. Now, what I'm going to repeat again. The fact that the matter is I see Wreath and I see Denny on the side of sorry. I've already mistaken the names, but of the K3, they have a bit more spread out in terms of their allocations of who's the real damage dealer. Mostly the player on the other side, that was Denny. Denny was actually the one who was really popping off big. Wreath had a really good start early on, but then kind of started to get a bit quiet here. So as we get into game here, I'm curious to see who becomes that shining star, who ends up rising above. And especially on a map like this, utility is the name of the game. Nemo's not here to find you, but those nades certainly can still leave a mark. Malikan, the captain, falls first.
Agurkus gonna find another one. Has been rocking this Ash 12 in the Enforcer class. You love to see it. Halava, though, has the Saiga. Griffin finds Ashtray at Jin, and the back and forth kills continue.
Okay, so far, so good. That nade instantly equalized. You lost Jiras and Malikan, though, who in my eyes are some of the best sharpshooters that K3's got to offer. Device being planted to start things off. It's an aggressive lead foot here for K3. Now, how do you retake the A site? That's the almighty question.
Well, time will tell. 40 seconds here. And you need about 5 or 6 to find that defusal, so you've got to get the 3 kills ahead of time. Griffin's going to find Wraith, though. Calls answers back on to Reynolds. Now in a 2v2, it's the pro position. Halava finds Denny. He gets calls as well, and K3 is taking round number 1.
Listen, man, Malikan can fall, but it's just like we were saying, like nary a minute ago. The onus is spread out, I'd say, far more evenly for K3, where it's not just 2, 3 players that are responsible for getting the lion's share of the kills. Everyone is a shooter. All my homies are killers. And Decoded are going to have to find a way to decipher this team and understand that gameplay. Now, that nade to start off was certainly a lightning bolt reminder of how important utility can be on this map, and we're lining up for a nice Hail Mary once again.
The lineup, Larry's looking to rain down, and Ashtray, he says, I'm going 2 for 2 in round number 2. He finds another one. Prone position is Agurkus, but Halava's going to catch him off guard.
You can tell that the gunplay is clearly in favor of K3 to start things off. Jiras takes down Wreath, but they make sure to get Griffin's head before going down. Device planted once again, lightning speed, Blitzkrieg, and Blitzkrieg Girl isn't even here to say something about it. But K3 are responding with rapid speed. The high velocity gameplay that forces Decoded to get a response off. It's Ashtray. Once the smoke clears, the bodies drop. Halava's down.
Yeah, Halava actually shifted just past Ashtray in that smoke. I was keeping my eye on it, but as it began to dissipate, Ashtray winning the better of the timing. Malikan finds him. Malakin, but
Nice.
it's Giros, the prone snake on the site, finds one. Astray, the peak, he doesn't spot him.
No!
Unfortunately
Giros!
for Giros, you got to check the rounds in the mag. Otherwise, it's a drag as they only had a couple left. The quick swing out and Decoded will take a much-needed round.
Mike the Liar just had a sympathy pang in his chest like, yeah, I get it, buddy. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes you just don't have anything left in the tank. Despite amazing positioning there from Giros, you just were caught, outgunned, or out-bulleted, I suppose. Once again, the utility is proving to be a massive boon here to Decoded. It immediately grants them that 5v4 offset matchup, the handicap. But K3 with their gunplay and tactical positioning are able to respond back. So I'm curious what happens when K3 have all 5 in the back end are still up and running. That's when I see them really dominating around.
As we search to claim a winner of Bowl here, we're looking for one in chat as well. Exclamation point BSG to get in the chance to win a free arena key here, as it looks like the pressure mounting toward the B side. Denny Griffin combined for one apiece. Denny will get a second as Giros finally gets the trade back.
Most lethal player proving why they earned the title, but without them, what's left? Not Ash. They're the one who's going to get burned out instead. 3 for 2. Code on the worst end of that exchange. Gurkis and Areeth still stand strong. We know that Areeth has got potential. Gurkis also had some good plays of their own. Trying to now up the kill board real quick. High ground possessed by Reynolds. Watching for errored movement from Decoded, who now stand strong. 2 members advance forward. But can they get the better end of this overwatching snake? Indeed they shall. Areeth takes him down.
Well, Gurkis is going to find one more onto Griffin. Giros, the lone member here in a 2v1. Only about half health to work with as well.
Certainly a good member to have, though, in the back. To be that anchor. Decoded. Safety in numbers. They forego it instead. Divide and conquer. Giros, though, will take advantage of the confusion. Get that plant off on the A side. It's going to force a hasty reunite on the part of Decoded. Giros slinks back into the shadows. Finds optimal positioning to overwatch the site.
Giros trying to peek over the top, just looking for a bit of intel.
They know.
Lots of Gurkis, and they do know. They know. As he begins to shift toward Jen, the device being deactivated. A Gurkis on this Ash 12, and I'm absolutely loving this. We used to see the Ash 12 quite a bit. I know Zaki was rocking it back in the day, but we see it now making its way back into this Enforcer class where it's just been a ton of the Saigas, the Shotties, the Piranha rounds, the Flechette. So a Gurkis switching up the style a little bit, making it flashy out here for Decoded.
Decoded start off strong, and you know what? I will say they instantly proved me wrong. I thought that Decoded, if they don't get any utility kills, might find themselves in a spot of bother. But no, they actually managed to handle themselves very efficiently. Much respect goes to them for just taking a 5v5 mano-a-mano gunfight and still coming out the stronger team. Nades out cross map, won't find any marks, but start to connect the dots a little bit. Start to paint a bigger picture. One where you see this big split. 2 members guard B, but clearly favoring this A side. K3 really trying to force the issue around there.
Shout out to production. I love these overviews for the nade lineups as Diddy will find the pick on the Reynolds there, lurking around the B side. And typically we see the majority of the action heading toward the A site on maps like Bull or Skybridge. So it doesn't surprise me a bit, but teams that can mix up that strategy, maybe 5 rush toward B, mix it up just a bit, have had a lot of success in the past. K3 slowly and methodically working toward the site though.
Denny as well is starting to wind around the back, and that's the worst person to have on the backside because they are careful, they're patient, they are precise with where they place those shots. Areeth and Ash together at last. Utility comes over the top. Gonna force the attentions there for a second of Malakin, who still stands strong for K3. Been a bit quiet, the captain, so far. Most lethal player. Maybe not having sharpened their claws between games just yet, but they have opportunity here. But look at Gurkis, look at that positioning! Sweeps the leg of Malakin, they fall.
Oh, get a second, and Coles comes in for the help. He says, tag team, back again. Whoop, there it is. As Giros finds a Gurkus, he's not done, but Coles says, yes, you are. Decoded up by 2.
Wow, nice. I'm really surprised by how these rounds are going. I thought I had understood the layout from those first 2 rounds, but all of a sudden, Dakota just kind of changed up their strategy. They are Enigma, baby. You can't crack this. K3 are instead the ones who are starting to show some flaws, starting to show those cracks. Maybe getting a bit too hasty, or also just getting outflanked, outmatched, outwitted. Their positioning seems a bit too stagnant. They need to be fluid.
Well, we'll see if they can do just that. One more time, we can hear those nades being primed. Explosions dangerously close to finding a home, but just missing the mark on that one. We'll see another lineup coming in here, and now it's Halava to find a Gurkus.
That's really good to start off. Gurkus was really prime player. That last round, and Halava is burning through them like the namesake. Malik and gonna be able to take down Wreath as well. Only Calls and Denny remain.
Almost looks to pop a flash. He's going to jump right into the crosshair of Halava, who puts him straight into the ground. And now it's all down to Denny in a 5v1.
3-piece picked up by Halava so far. Like, hell, you go. It's keeping up that pressure. Denny recognizes it as well as slowly 5 members advance forth. No spot is safe. Griffin makes sure that's a fact as they put them down and finish the job. K3 back up, only 1 down.
Yeah, when you're trying to work back into a game, a flawless round is one hell of a way to do it. K3, they've made a stand. Now can they continue to push forward? They look to tie it up here in round 6, and we knew it was going to be a close one. Now it's starting to become that nail-biter we expected.
Nice. I like to see this. And it starts with Halava just grabbing that first easy pick on Gurkus, which was kind of just the go sign for everyone else to advance forth. A rushing tide of red bodies that drowns out any attempts at opposition. Nades up over top. No bodies will drop as the rush towards A side commences.
Ashtray peppers a few shots down through the smoke. Gurkus is going to spot the head. The repeat comes in and can't quite find a way to collect it. Wraith has already gone down here as well, and the device quickly being planted.
Halava, man, such a watchful eye. Any movement is not lost on them. Ashtray is going to fall as well. Device planted. K3 operates so well. It's just rushing down this A side and instantly getting the device down. Forces so much pressure on DCD. You think you have all the time in the world. All of a sudden, 40 seconds is all you got, baby.
30 now on the clock as it begins to dwindle down like the sands of the hourglass. But Gurkus spots the barrel. It's Griffin. He can't get the second. Halava's on a tear, and Denny drops Giros.
Okay, this is intense. Calls and Denny are 2 great players down on the back end, but now it's just Denny. That's A-okay. Just where they want to be. Halava, though, has been on the hot streak. Looks for more, but they go for long targets. And Denny, bit of a targeting issue, looks for Malikin. It's Halava who gets you instead. The left hook when they were looking right. 3-3, K3 tied up.
All tied up. The game of tug of war continues, and this is what the people came for. An absolute cinema. Back and forth we go. K3, they found a way to tie it up, putting a couple rounds on the board in a row. Can they extend it now? Can they grab the lead away from Decoded?
In semifinals, we have 2 matchups that are worthy of a finals run themselves. Best of 1. Have fun all you want, but you need to also make sure that you're keeping calm, keeping collected, keeping your eye on the prize, which is going to be that final spot. Denny lays patiently around the corner, but maybe thinks better of it. Too overwhelming of a force. Could drive back one of your best attackers. Griffin on the attack. Lava as well. Drop Ash and Denny in spades.
Griffin calls. They'll get a pick apiece. It is Decoded, who is on the receiving end of the majority of the kills here. Wraith trying to stand tall from a distance. It's Reynolds letting the shots ring out, and with that, K3 will grab the lead.
Nice work there by K3, man. They're starting to shrink those victories, and that utility, those kills we saw in the first opening 2 rounds are a distant memory. Now, is that where we see DCD get back into things? I'm curious. But on this defensive end, again, they just keep rushing this A side. We're about to be on halftime here, and you just need to see Decoded find a way to stymie that pressure, find a way to put a speed bump in their way. But just the positioning here from our friends on the other side, from K3, is a bit too much to bear, and it's because of the utility that forces Dakota to wait back a little bit, so they can't be at the point at the right time. Wreath, they're on time, but the bullets, they're in the right place. Halava takes them down, but Agurkus responds and takes them down as well. Jiras manages to keep the chain of murder on going and drops the killer of their buddy. Griffin, though, will fall as well. Ashtray Pod has them. 2 members down on each side.
Ashtray is collecting bodies with the spear. My man looking like Bill Goldberg out here. Denny on a plat trying to shift around the backside. Catches Malachi off guard. Reynolds, the last man standing here for K3. And Dakota's looking to tie it up, but Reynolds got other plans.
Full bill of health for Reynolds. 2 members left. Denny, he's at the top ground. They're shooting at each other. Oh, dear God, you're looking at the wrong one. Denny's the one to fall instead. Reynolds says, I prefer IHOP. Now it's going to be 1 left to go for, but the bomb is already planted, and it's not going to be enough. DCD end up taking it, tying it up. Man, that was nearly a takedown, though, as the defuse is already out. Reynolds just couldn't do quite enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got the defuse in. The bomb was down. Reynolds was trying to find the pick. He gets a kill, but is caught and reload and decoded. I thought K3 was going to be able to come in and maybe find that defuse, but they just didn't have enough time on the clock there. So Ashtray doing a good job finding the kills and just abiding the time there. Even if K3 found that final pick, there wouldn't have been enough time to get that. So here we are, 4-4, tied up at halftime as we swatch sides.
So now what does K3 do from a defensive position? Because they like to play this fast style. This turns out you just go up and meet them on their own terms. Halava manages to drop Ashtray, but they will fall in trade. And 1-for-1 doesn't feel good. Halava is normally someone who's able to get at least 2 bodies before they go down, if they go down. So going even Stevens doesn't feel the best, especially if it's only Ashtray. But Ashtray has been performing relatively well. Smoke is down, blocking line of sight there for Griffin. Calls takes down Malikan as well.
Well, Ashtray down. K3 missing 2. Dakota trying to start off their first attacking round on the right foot here. Reynolds, everything is slowed down drastically at the moment.
All that smoke blinding so many lines of sight for Griffin. They only have to hear the screams of terror as Jiras falls at Wreath's hand. 2v4 is certainly possible. Griffin performing relatively well. Sees one up top but can't quite find him. Instead, it's got to settle for Agurkus. Reynolds takes down Calls, but Griffin's already out of it. A 1v2. Let's see if Reynolds can do it this time.
All alone. Has been a clutch factor before, but for Dakota, they have an idea that Reynolds most likely here, so they're going to leg it toward the B site here. Look to get that plant down. They've got one shifted toward this mid lane, though, and it potentially could catch Reynolds off guard here.
Scary stuff here. 20 seconds left. Dakota don't have that same pressure, but now they start to apply it, getting that device down just in time. But they certainly have taken an awful lot of time and bodies to do so. Reynolds around the corner. They know you see him. Wreath down below. Could be trouble. Moving in to try to find Denny, but down on the ground is just where they'll stay. As they go prone and make sure Reynolds meets them 6 feet under. Dakota narrowly able to take up these victories, just remaining up ahead by 1.
They'll regain that lead for the time being. We'll see if K3 is able to reel it back once more. Love these games that just go back and forth continuously. And I always say, especially in games like this, it's the first 2 rounds of the second half that can offer just a bit of a tale of how this might play out. So Dakota can win this round pretty decisively. It might just spell trouble here for K3.
If Halava is going to be the entry fragger, I need to see them get more than 1 kill. Then that seems to be the case. They're the Vanguard stepping up. No kills off utility. It's Griffin this time who's going to make the moves. They get the grenade kill, but unfortunately fall in a storm of bullets. Calls takes credit.
Yeah, this is that, kind of only putting 1 on toward the B site. They 5-player rush it over here. They find a pick at a minimum. Yeah, they get 1 or lose 1, but they should be able to get the device down. Jiras good for 1. Reynolds another as Agurkus picked up a kill on the Malikan in the meantime.
Bullets storm down. Calls will be calling back for home. Reynolds finishes the job, and Jiras quickly puts a punctuation at the end of that sentence. Punctuates with a nice little tie. Once again, 5-5. These opening rounds are telling us a tale for sure, Hot Sauce, but it's one of evenly matched teams.
5-5. It doesn't get much more even than that as we get a little bit closer toward the end of this one. And we haven't been blessed with an overtime yet today, but I would be ecstatic to see one here.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit. These semifinals, again, are incredibly narrow. Both of them on each side of the bracket. Now we take the overhead look. It's an awfully long shadow. I don't know what's quite covering them, but it might be the looming shadow, that ever-present threat of approaching doom. Will they enter gloom quite just yet? No, it's Griffin once again on the Vanguard. Always make sure to make off with at least one head. Reds follows suit, drops Denny, but both of them will soon after be taken off by Wreath. So at the very least, gracing the kill board a little bit themselves, but maybe the damage they did to the formation could be enough. They know they're going to B-site once again. Decoded clearly favoring this letter. But Jiris favoring to take down Wreath. Malikan is the response.
Gurkus finds him trying to come through green there. Halava begins to shift forward. Gurkus waiting patiently here. They've got a minute and 13. They don't have to drop the device down just yet. And Jiris is trying to hold the angle here. He's looking to thread the needle.
Minute left. Haven't clicked on the plant off just yet, but Gurkus starts to slowly wind their way forward for it. Plant is down. They know as well. Tries looking for some shots through the wall. Can't find the right angle. A store is planted, and they actually managed to get it off planted. Beautiful work as Ashtray takes down Jiris on their approach. Halava has to make quick work of Gurkus if they want any hope, but Gurkus is retreating back into the corner.
Trying to buy up as much time as possible. They've got Ashtray here still as well. Gurkus, he beats out the pre-fire, and the Ash 12 gets the better of the saga here of Halava. Decoded finds themselves back on top.
That's great mental play, right? Knowing that you're antsy, it's a 1v2, the bomb's planted, you know that everything's going against you. So Halava's really going to be itching on that trigger finger. So what am I going to do? I'll give him just a little taste, a little flash. You know, give him a bit of the elbow real quick. And Halava bites for it, gets put on the hook, and that's going to be a catch and not release, as they're not going to be letting go of that lead anytime soon. If Dakota have something to say about it, up one round, 5-6, man. Most intense series we've seen so far.
Decoded, no slouches to the pro scene as Halava bats an eye at that nade. We'll take some damage, but K3 new to the pro scene, so won very well against this tough team of Decoded. Looking to pull out a bit of an upset here today, but only down by a round. They need this one. Halava on the peak finds some damage, but not enough to get the kill. Man,
that's frustrating. I thought Gurkus was definitely dead to rights there. 2 members strong here. Decoded stand up against Halava. The Vanguard is gonna be putting all 10 toes down, brings 2 lives before Gurkus can make off with theirs. That's just what you want to see for K3. Same with Griffin taking off Denny.
They've got the player advantage. They got to utilize it. Riddle's putting a hailstorm of bullets downfield. It's Griffin to collect on to Wraith here. Gurkus, 12 kills on the board, but finds himself alone in a 1v4.
This is not the best situation if you're Gurkus. Down 50. Maybe really use that health that you saw being taken out by Halava earlier, and Gurkus will fall as well. K3 tied up once more. And this is the Houston Rockets. Well, at least when James Harden was there. This is their formation. This is the best defense is more offense. You just double down on stepping up. And K3 with Halava and Griffin both are seemingly the people they send into combat first, just to soften up their opponents, do as much damage as possible, bruise and batter Decoded, try to take out their best players. And it's working beautifully when those moments happen, when Halava is able to trade out 2 for 1. That's how you know the strat's working.
Making sure to find at least 2 on that Enforcer class. It can't be a game changer. The Stampede, though, this time heading toward the A side. Jiris finds one on the smoke peak. Calls quick to return it, though.
Losing Jiris isn't the best, since that is one of your top killer teammates. But nonetheless, at least get 1 to trade out, and Wreath is doing pretty well themselves. Halava waits in the corner. Not sure if I like them playing, though, this scared. Could be an issue, especially if someone comes right around to bop you some, as Ashtray will take him out.
Not everybody checks that corner, so he let the first one go by. It was great trigger discipline. Unfortunately, the second guy does check it, so
yeah,
caught off guard just a little bit. It was a good attempt, but now they find themselves at a player disadvantage. Griffin begins to shift back. Reynolds spots the barrel. The intel will come out. Now the peak, the spray, but it's Ashtray to win it.
Wow, Calls got Malikan back home as well. Only Griffin, the entry fragger, now the last one left instead. Not what you expect, and not going to be providing too much in terms of the kills in response. Now taking that lead once back more. You know, we're seeing a lot of ties come out here from K3, but they have not for a long time been able to actually see themselves find supremacy, gain that one up over Decoded.
Yeah, I mean, Dakota technically has been in the pro scene, a little bit longer. They've been around. So I feel like, K3 probably just the slight underdog. I mean, there's so much talent over there. It's hard to call either team an underdog. But so the fact that they're playing this well against Dakota, I think speaks volumes for them. If they could find a way to squeeze out a win, it would be huge. The fellows at K3, though.
Nades up over top. Haven't seen utility kills be a real big factor for a while. The flash comes out. Dakota, though, march on forward. Steadily, stoically, around that corner. Griffin not prepared. Call certainly was. Takes them out for first.
To call the action, to call to arms, and he finds Griffin on the first pick. Wraith trying to prime up a nade, but Malikan's going to find that answer back on toward calls. A Gurkus back to Malikan. The trades come in, the nades ring out, but they don't find the home as Giros collects the head. Fast trade.
Oh, but Denny and Wreath combine, do the fusion dance, and find 2 more kills for it. Giros trying to poke out a toe, or rather shoot out a toe at the very least. Won't succeed, but there are some dents in the health bars of Gurkus and Wreath for it. Standing alone up against 3. Definitely not the easiest situation here, and you don't want to see Dakota go up too, so Giros has really got to lock in.
See if they're able to do that. 1v3. Not too often you see crazy clutches like this, especially in Tarkov Arena. The TTK so
What?
small.
No.
And Denny, he says, I only need a pixel to take the head, clean off the shoulders. It's rolling across bowl like a boulder. And with that, Decoded up to match in series point.
Scary stuff. Again, semifinals, folks, is still a best of 1. That means Decoded is looking to grab that first final slot before the pizza rolls that are in the oven can cool off. K3 have battled super hard to get to this point. 6 rounds, painstakingly won, each one certainly earned. Can't lose anyone to a nade kill right now. It's probably going to be another B rush, and they know it. But can they actually hold strong? Can they find the resolve to fight on?
Well, time will tell here very shortly. Do or die at this point. They need both of these rounds to extend it into overtime for Decoded. You just need to get one of them here, and it's Wraith from downtown. He'll find Halava.
Not the cross map you expect, but still, hey, mid-range shots. The mid-range master over here is Wreath. Lobs one up more for the one time. Raining down on top of Giros. They got to make a move now as all the Willy Pete's block all their vision. The flash as well. Boom, bang, pop. Malikan gets dropped.
Yeah, you see Giros tuck in because he's completely blind there. You see the icon next to his character model down there at the bottom of the screen. Couldn't see anything. Tries to tuck into the corner. Gets taken out. Decoded. The plan.
Nice.
It's a 5v2. But look at the situational awareness from Griffin. He finds the first one on the shift over.
They're in a good position, actually, if they double back. No, they're not going to win 2. They're just going to push on forward. 2 members together. Join hands. Link arms. And try to link together what looked to be a shoddy start to match point. But around that corner, Snake's lying, waiting. Gotta mow the grass. You gotta look for Ash from below. Reynolds will fall. So does Griffin. They take the last 2 kills. They take that final slot for Decoded.
9-6, your final score in this one. K3 putting up one hell of a fight. That was a close one and one I really enjoyed on the day. But we talk about it. K3, they've been making waves in the pro scene. It was a good little test for them. They fall just a bit short here today. They get back to the drawing board, but this is a team that you need to look out for in times to come. They are on the up and up, and I'm excited to see what they've got going forward. Decoded, they punched their ticket into the grand finals. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We rest in peace, Harambe. We love you. So regardless of what Dilo says, big shout out. But Pandemic Apex, can the Pandas get it done? They were the recent champions of HPL. EPA falling just short, getting that second place, but it was a rough game for them in day 1 of that for HPL where they met Pandemic and then didn't see him again for the rest of that tournament. So maybe a chance for a little bit of revenge here, but as you said, it's only a best of 1. And I think if there's ever a time for a team to upset another team, it's in a best of 1.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't have to play that full series. You take your game away, you take your win, you go take that victory lap, and you let them know who's boss.
You're absolutely correct. And who's going to be potentially doing the upsetting, we'll find out as we hop on over to the captain spotlight and see who's going to be leading these 2 glorious teams into righteous combat. We already have been familiarized with them, but we'll make sure you're reacquainted. Nope. It's not them. It's actually not them. Don't you worry. Ashtray, Pot, and Malikan will have their time to shine. Unfortunately, they'll be moving on. It's going to be Walker and Bakizi instead. EPA, Panderic, stepping up. Look at that hour count from Walker. That dude, they call him Walker because this man's been in the game for 60 years. He's got to walk with one, but certainly doesn't need one when he's on the keys. No siree.
He is the Texas Walker Ranger of
That
the
too.
EU scene. He's the #1 player in Arena on the EU side, but Bakizi, he's got the cookbook. He's a menace in his own right. He might only have 850 hours, but he's got a 2.3 KD. That C rating, it means nothing when you're a juggernaut like that. He's in the assault class, and you got to look out for him.
C stands for crazy. This man's, yeah, he's completely changed the letter grade system, and Walker plays it by the book. And you can tell, like, you literally look at this and you see Bakizi is maybe a little bit kooky, maybe a little bit more crazy, whereas Walker is just raw determination, raw grind. I put 2,000 hours into this gosh darn game, all right? You think I'm going home with 3rd place? Absolutely not. No, they're going for it all. They're going for the gold. But it's going to come down to not only these captains as well as who's backing them up is certainly going to be a big part of it too. But I'm really looking forward to this matchup here. Hot Sauce, you've been hyping it up for good reason. I'm sure the audience is looking forward to seeing these two titans clash in front of us in just a moment.
I am excited for it. And I mean, the lineup, the rosters for both of these squads are absolutely stacked. It doesn't get much more packed than this. I mean, Panderic, Apex, Bakizi, Rapid, Cacao, Crank stepping in for that ace. And that might be the one thing that
true.
EPA could look to take advantage of. You got Codex there as well, who's absolutely phenomenal.
I do need to keep that in mind, the fact that we are batting with a different roster. And that's important. You mentioned, and rightfully so, that Crank has enough experience that it's not going to be an issue. But with this lineup still, maybe there's a chance to take advantage of the fact that you just have a player who's maybe not as strong. Even if they have the synergy with the rest of the team, maybe they just don't quite click the keys the same way. But you can see here, Outcast CPA, Walker, Blitzer Girl, Nemo, we found you, Fox and Stripey, they're ready for action.
Yeah, you know, and at the same time, Stripey is new on this roster. EPA formerly playing with Pablo. So Pablo taking a step back, Stripey, the Dolphin, taking a step in here as well. And so has been filling the role nicely, had a little bit of a quiet game in their first game of the day. So we'll see if he can get it exploding here. But again, this is the #1 and #2 team from the most recent HPL about to clash. And, well, EPA now with Stripey instead of Pablo. Crank stepping in here for that ace. And that ace has really been a talisman for Panderic Apex. Just a menace on this TRG. Really great decision-making. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. So we have to see if they can get it done without that ace here today.
This is going to be a game that really puts the finals and semifinals. It might just be the most explosive matchup we get to see today. And it's an absolute treat that it comes early. Early access bonus here, guys. You don't have to pay the pre-order. And we're going to be hopping soon into that game.
I don't even know how you get better, but they continuously get better. So we'll waste no more time. We're ready for it. It's on Fort Pandas taking on EPA.
Defend your habitat. The apex predators, the pandas, rule over this food chain, at the very least in this environment. Up top, Blitzer drops down more utility, drops the bullets too. Cacao's the first one to go down. Bokeezy laid down nice and easy, but Rapid Rust rapidly takes down 2 in response.
Rapid Rust finding this pick on the Fox here. Nemo quick to trade it back though, and Nemo gets a second. He's firing on all cylinders in this one. A spray through the smoke. His Crank will rip some shots back. Teetering on the brink of death here. They're both flirting with disaster, but it is the Outcast who've got the upper hand.
That was a really solid double. No nades needed. Nemo's just as lethal with the rifle in hand. 1 minute left. And Apex with the ones on the onus of trying to actually plant. Not the easiest task when Walker and Nemo still remain, still hunt you down, does get the device in pocket. But now what do you do with it? That noose is slowly starting to be wound across your neck with the pincer.
I'm taking away 45 on the clock to work with here. As the device in hand. Refire shots, though. Not able to hit the mark yet. Continues to dance around, playing with the audio cues. There's a bit of a pincer, though, and they've got to be careful.
Tries to force one to back off. Does succeed. Nemo actually giving a lot of respect there. But maybe he's waiting for the plant sound to go. Walker takes that as their cue. It actually will get planted down. But the question is, can you now escape? The answer is no. Crank unfortunately gets spanked by Walker. The defuse comes out. First round goes to Panda. Or sorry, Outcast.
Outcast getting it done here early. They take round number 1. We'll see. Can they build off the back of it? We always talk about the importance of getting those multiple rounds in a row. So they start off on the right foot. Can they pad it, or will Pandas be able to answer back here in round 2?
That massive double from Nemo is really what swung things in Outcast's favor. And it's, again, the question of, is utility going to matter? That right there is a resounding answer of no. You don't. Well, it will matter, but is it necessary? No. Outcasts are an efficient team. There's a reason they bat up for second in HPL, and they're looking to try to get some accolades in different divisions. They take an authoritative stance across the point, drop down the smoke as well. Apex going to force their way through. And they're clearly a bit divided in terms of how they want to do it, but coalescing together could be a dangerous fact if you look at the flank potential. But Outcasts don't want to force the issue. Can wait for them to come to you.
This is where those Andreezy nade lineups come in play. Back toward green, the back of sight there as well. I mean, you could definitely flush out both of these players. We see Fox has shifted this way, and really all of EPA has rotated toward this site here. Pandaric Apex hasn't even thought about rotating themselves, though they might just try to run it down the mouth.
Okay, now with the distribution, Outcast could find themselves in trouble. Stripey, the first line of defense, has to look back, though. Who's going to force their way up first? Might be Cacao through the smoke. Stripey's aware, though, but one more Willie Pete forces them to retreat because they don't know where the hell they're coming from.
This has been the slowest round yet. Stripey, I think that's Bikizi just on the other side. Both of these flirting with death at the moment. The device begins to dump across as Rapid does find Blitzer. It's the first pick here for Pandaric.
Stripey winds their way around. They've been playing this game of Ring Around the Rosie for what seems like forever, but Rapid and Russ have been able to get the better end. Nimone gets some shots off, but no damage in response. Outcast batting a man down.
Rapid finding Stripey. It's going to be 2 players down now as Bikizi will find Fox. The stars begin to align, but Nemenas has got other plans. Cacao stepping in. The Enforcer enforcing. Crank finds Walker on the flank, and Pandaric Apex ties it up.
And even though this is only round 2, this is what I mean when I say that I don't think these early rounds matter for the mentals as much. For the scoreboard, certainly, but for pacemaking, obviously, Pandera recognizes we can definitely take a round off Outcast, and Outcast can take a round off us. Now that that's out of the way, it's all going to come down to strategy. It all comes down to tactics. Haven't seen that utility come through that much, but that was played very methodically, very slowly. And all the statement that makes there from Pandera, the fact that we can just outplay you, outmaneuver you. I think we saw a little bit of antsiness come out there. In response from Outcast, they had a big rotation, a big swing, thinking that maybe they're going to plant on the other site. But instead, Pandera just wait you out. But no waiting necessary here. Stripey goes down with the quickness. Pandera already off with a great start.
Cacao duct taping that W key down, just gets into position before the smoke can even plume, puts Stripey in the dirt, and now things get a bit more difficult. Blitzer Girl to line up that nade. Nobody in toward the back of the site just yet. Won't find a home, but he hasn't let it rip out just yet either.
Round the back. Trying to maybe get a flank off. No, Outcast just still spread out, but maybe need to really coalesce their forces. So far, Pandera really haven't been looking for these split tactics. Instead, they allocate all their forces in one place. Apes strong together. Same case for the Pandas, clearly. Nades off the mark. Big sigh of relief there for Outcast, but more Willie Pete's pour through, and Outcast is starting to feel antsy.
I'm going to let some shots ring through the box here, trying to deny the device going down, but it does go down. Now there's just 45 seconds on the clock. They've got the player advantage as well, and now all of a sudden, the pressure begins to be put on the weight of Outcast's shoulders.
Okay, Walker trying to advance prone is Pandera, just waiting. Now, bonus is on Outcast to retake. But knowing that they lie waiting in the wings is a scary thought. Fox won't have any more to think about. Kokizi ends their life. Shots ring through the wall, but Walker can't find the bang necessary. Neither can Walker. Craig takes down one more. It's a 5v2. And Rapid Rust makes that one sole survivor who's quickly ended as well. Cacao takes down Blitzer Girl. Pan take their second round.
Back and forth we go. I mean, it's probably going to be like this throughout the entirety of this series. And we talked about it only being a best of one, not that grand final. If there ever was a time for Outcast to find this upset here, it would be now. But Panderic, they've regained that lead once more. Can they hold on to it? We'll say it time and time again. The importance is what team can consistently put 2 or 3 rounds on the board at a time and not just be stuck to that one.
Streaks are important because not only does it just feel good, but obviously it puts you ahead. If you're just getting piecemeal victories, only playing catch-up, it just feels bad. Let's Girl catches up to the kill count by dropping Pan Crank with the nade. Rapid Rust, though, answers back and puts Pan Apex back in the lead. And they find more, though. Fox reconsiders their attempt to push forward. Rapid Rust covering fire to ensure Codex's safety as they get the plant off as well. Around the corner. Most dangerous game, but we all fall down. Nemo will die. Fox drops Rapid Rust, and Codex will fall right after. This Fox is now the new Apex Predator. Rearrange the food chain. This one's getting a bit rabid.
Looking to get rowdy here. Cacao spots one. He's on the Enforcer class, but he's picked up an additional weapon here. Up close and personal. Audio cue. I'm not sure he heard it, and Fox just stampedes on, finds him. And with that, Outcast will find a way to tie it up yet again.
With the bravery of a charging Rhino, Fox is able to drop 3 bodies, completely equalize, and, in fact, swing the advantage towards Outcast 2-2. Now they're the ones on the other shoe. Can they keep it going, though, Hot Sauce? Can they streak these wins together?
That's the important thing. You got to be able to do that. It's been back and forth so far. We haven't seen anybody really get that 2-point cushion just yet. And so that's the first thing I'm really looking for. I feel like a lot of times, especially with these really tough teams, you don't get that until the side swap. So that's why in almost any game, I always say I look for the first 2 rounds of the second half.
Wow, it's a B-rush completely from Pan Apex. Haven't really been seeing this point get much love, but Outcast have been prepared for it. I must say, I was harping on the fact that they weren't coalescing. Now, it starts to pay dividends as Outcasts are actually able to fluidly rotate back, leaving one member for A, and maybe leaving that member, in fact, to flank. But just going to keep a careful watch. Cover established. Rapid Rust waits around that corner. Monas watches Fox get sprayed down amidst smoke and sulfur. The grenade kill on top of Monas as well. Stripey will go down. Pandera Apex starting off very strong in this tiebreaker round. Blitzer Girl will fall, leaving only Walker to remain.
Texas Walker Ranger, he's going to need a big old roundhouse to drop 5, but he's going to start it out with some sweet chin music. Rapid Rust goes down, and Walker lays prone.
Okay, Walker trying to go for Bokeezy. They're up top of the crate, but they don't know that. What lies in the smoke is a mystery, but your history. Cacao takes them out. Guarantees the lead for Pandera.
And Derek Apex back up on top. The Pandas, they've gotten the lead momentarily. Can they extend it, though? That's what we've been looking for. So far, neither team has been able to do that. They find these relatively quick responses. For Stripey, a tough start. The Donut on the board. The rest of the crew has 3 apiece. So I think if they can just find Stripey as first kill, get him into that momentum, that is kind of feeling comfortable, we could see things maybe start to fall over in their favor, but always easier said than done, as we like to say.
Inertia, baby. That's what it's all about. You're absolutely right. Getting 1 kill on the board is going to be a massive boon to the team. And you see Nemonas is going to lead with that foot forward. Codex is the first to drop. Takes down 2. No sharing for Stripey whatsoever. They're just waiting for their opportunity. Says, can I get some kills? Rapid Rust wants one for sure, but maybe on the wrong target. Cacao lights out. Only 2 remain for Panderic.
2 left to go. Rapid, Bokeezy. We'll see what they can cook up together here as the back and forth continues once more. And I mean, you take a look at the mini map. They have them. You're completely surrounded. Come out with your hands up.
So maybe send in a hostage negotiator. Who's it going to be from the Outcast to say, people love you. Come on now. Everyone wants to see you get out of this one alive. I don't think, though, Panderic are going to go down easy. They plan to go out fighting. But it might just be in a pillowcase. Rapid Rust sways back and forth, but impatience might begin to set in. And certainly is the case for Bokeezy. Fox awaits you with a smile and a few bullets to the chest. Only 1 left against 5.
Yeah, and the device just down in an awkward spot
Perfect.
for Outcasts. They don't even have to move, and they don't. Blitzer Girl will wrap up the final kill, and, well, we'll be tied up yet again. 3-3, 2 rounds left until halftime, and I mean, this is just, I'm excited for this one. I've been waiting for this all day. I thought we might see it in the finals, but because of the way the bracket worked out, it is only a semifinal. It's only a best of one. This is an incredibly crucial game for both of these squads.
That was a beautiful round. Now, that's one that really does stick out to you. You had a flawless, man. You feel great coming off the back of that downwards deficit. Now you're tied up. Now we can try to start to make towards that cushion. But, man, has it been an intense one so far. Nothing short of expected, of course. But here come the bullets as expected as well. The bloodshed has started. Stripey still can't liberate themselves from the goose egg. Instead, they're the one cracked open. Blitzer Girl going to fall as well. Rapid Rust quickly taking that lead for Panderic.
This is this has been the theme of the day here between these two teams, just consistently bouncing back and forth. Nemo gonna find this pick though, to bring it back just to a one-player disadvantage. They're trying to cheat forward, trying to bait out maybe a pre-fire here as well, looking for a bit of intel.
You have Fox on the corner, Nimonas. Can be the first one to spot someone unless that Willie Pizza's otherwise. And unfortunately, Cacao saw you the moment quicker. Piranha gonna gobble him up. Walker gonna get shot down. Fox soon to follow. Apex still holding on to this lead with broken, bloody fingers.
Well, the nice thing there is they've solidified themselves a minimum of a tied half here. Anything extra would allow them to go on for a winning half here. It is the final round of the first half. We'll see if Outcast can reel it back one more time.
Man, it's been so back and forth. Neither team's been really allowed to rest and look at their laurels and bathe back in luxury, kick their feet up on the coffee table because the pressure's always shifting hands. But Outcasts are still the ones who are outcast from that lobby leaderboard being on top. And it just feels nice to, even if it's being constantly taken away from you, know that you're not being overtaken. And Outcasts are the ones who are constantly on that back foot. No longer as Nemo going to be able to take down one, but Pan Codex as well as Cacao instantly dropped Nemo alongside Stripey. You're not getting any kills today. Outcaster on the back wall. Blitzer. Bullets for anyone who wants to come. These hands are ready to eat for everyone. Fox, though, is instead the one to grab the double. Nade over top, though. Cranks out the life of Blitzer Girl. Fox and Walker remain, and Fox finds a third. Crank is out of it. Rapid Rust rapidly watches as their lead falls to ashes, turns to cinders in their mouth. Outcasts stand to tie it up.
Just got to find this pick on to Rapid. And again, you take a look at where the device is down. For Rapid, he's got plenty of time. So maybe rather than just try to pick up that device, try to snuff out, find one of these players, get that initial pick, and then see if you can make something happen off the back of that. But for Outcast, they're wise. They're playing very far back, these off angles. They know that they have to pick up that device and try to find the plant, but they can't get the rotation because they've got one here holding it down.
Oh, rushing right up to try to ward off Walker. Now they're literally just chasing him down. It's a police pursuit. Stop with your hands up. Come on out, Rapid. They're looking for the pro member, and they're going to make sure they stay on the ground. Rapid Rust evens the odds.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got a bit of a light bleed and not a ton of health to work with. He's now spotted Fox, though. Pre-fire comes out. Panderic Apex. How in the world?
With grit, determination, and a hell of a lot of bullets. The lead slinger, Rapid Rust, the fastest gun this side of Tarkov, puts Panderic up with that 2-round cushion. First time we got to see it here, Hot Sauce, and now we're switching sides.
El Rapito. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He is a clutch factor. I don't know how many times I've seen this guy get triple kills in a round and coming up with a huge clutch in that one. It was a round that should have left us tied at halftime. Instead, they get that driver's seat for the first time here in this series. These first 2 rounds are going to be crucial.
Yes, now more than ever. Abso-freaking-lutely, because it can either tie you or break you for Outcasts. But now on the defensive end, how do our friends do on the side of Panderic Apex? We'll find out as it seems they're going to rush out to meet their foes in open combat. Dropping down on the corner, Cacao sets the trap. But will anyone walk into it? Stripey trying to get out of this doldrum. You got to imagine 0-7, they're feeling a bit frustrated. But they could certainly get back into things, start to make that legacy now, carve their name in Tarkov history.
Stripey, unfortunately, still on that donut. Codex, only 2 kills as well, but it's Fox and Kakao to open up with the first 2. Fox from behind, peekaboo, and I see you for 3. It's a
bloody bangs.
Codex tries to answer back.
It is just murder spree coming out here from the Fox. They're normally omnivores, but this one is straight up carnivorous. Sees nothing but meat, flesh, and bone as they tear it asunder with bullets, teeth, and claws alike. Outcast not trying to let that lead extend any further. In fact, trying to put it down to the Durst. Rapid Rust from the left might find Nemo. No resistance, no pain. Nemo's put down without a sound. Rapid Rust might look for Fox as well. Gets some good damage off too and stays alive. And Codex finishes the job.
Got the help. Walker hears the device being diffused. He's going to have to quicken the pace, but they hear it. The help is there. Codex finds it, and Pandaric Apex begins to extend the lead here. They've doubled it up, and now they look to close it out.
Now this is scary. Now this is scary, Hot Sauce. You talk about it for a reason. These first few rounds off the back half of the switch is so important because you go in losing off that halftime switch, and now you come out still losing. You're like, well, nothing's changing. The sides might have switched, but the result's still the same. Pandaric Apex, 3 rounds away from that final slot. Can the Outcasts get back in?
Oof, it's going to be tough. They certainly have the skills to do so. Pandaric Apex, a dangerous team, tucked in toward cannons is Rapid, immediately taken out. Codex at least able to find one here, though.
Good start. Walker spawns back. Now Bakizi, no captain left, and in fact, only 3 members on each side, but Stripey's the one to fall. Fox is still there spitting. Codex and Kakao will be the victims of their aggressions. Crank the last one remaining, and the plant comes through. Not going to be an easy job here for the solo member. The subs really got to step up.
Got to step up when it matters most. Crank in a 3v1, though. I don't know how you come away with this one a victor, especially with the likes of Walker, Blitzer Girl, and Fox still standing. One has been spotted. Crank will let some shots sing out, but time certainly stacked against him here as well. Gonna find the first, though.
Hip fire, headshot, finds 2 as well. Crank is just cranking them out. On a factory assembly line, Walker, nerves baited, finds the pre-fire. That might be dangerous, but is able to still clutch it out. That was awfully close. Crank nearly had their number.
Yeah, the prone didn't work out for Walker in the previous one, but it works out here, and, well, they'll inch their way back in it. Trying to trudge through the trenches once more. They find themselves down by 2. They're closing that gap, and as long as they can close this gap before Pandaric Apex gets to match point, they don't have to feel all this pressure.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, so far, this game's been freaking awesome. This has been a really great series to see. And Outcasts are starting to bite back. Pandaric do still have that lead, but no utility. And maybe, again, that is actually where we start to see things change, is the fact that Outcasts just have not been able to find those nade kills that prior were so prevalent in their game plan. It's split there from Pandaric Apex. One member winds around the back, but Outcasts are positioned well to try to cut them off and strangle the air. Bokizi steps up. Isn't able to find any targets. But instead around the back is Rapid Rust, who makes quick work of Stripey. Still goose-egged.
Tough day for Stripey at the moment, but Blitzer Girl trying to pick up some of that slack. Will find this pick on to Rapid. One shining star down. 11 kills for him and Kakao both.
Nice.
Nemo finding this pick onto Codex could be a game changer here in this round.
Okay, watch the back. If Bokizi advances, now watch that right side. You have someone who's watching your back, and Crank needs no one to watch theirs. Walker will fall, makes it an even 3-3 game. Fox and Nemo, though, those are the ones I'm really looking at, are still up.
Yeah, 3v3. An intense situation. Bokizi almost a double take as he spots Fox. Fox finds him. Kakao able to trade one back, though. It's on to Nemenos on the backside of Cannon, so 2v2 yet again. Gosh
darn it. Crank's such a good one to have in the situation. Kakao's been absolutely popping off as well. It's the MLP from prior stepping up. Cuckoo for Kakao, we say, but I've had enough breakfast here. Eat some bullets instead. Crank goes down, obliges Kakao, though. Make sure Fox has their fill. A 1v1 once more. Cacao picking up, dropping that device, or is it just a bait? Blitzer Girl doesn't care, but they might need to. They're taken out instead, and Cacao finds the defuse, puts them up 3 rounds.
I mean, Blitzer Girl didn't even really bite on the fake defuse. She was standing there ready, but Cacao, fearless, the big old ego pig. Look at the kahunas on this man. It's a triple kill to put him up to 16. He's got 4 MVPs here in this one, and they are 1 away from match point.
Gosh darn it. I'm looking for... Listen, I might have rooted for Panderic here, but the tails of the game is starting to shift my allegiances. I want to see Outcast at least bring it back to closer. They've played so hard. They've played so gosh darn well. They deserve to get a closer game out of it. But will they, won't they? That's up to them. Bokizi advances. Tries to look for Nimanos, but the grenade starts things off. Utility being used against Outcasts.
Yeah, Walker goes down. Stripey falls to Cacao as well. He's a menace on the
Oh,
enforcer.
God.
Bokizi cooks up a kill of his own. Finds the chicken dinner as Crank finds Fox. Blitzer and Cacao. Panderic Apex. They're up to match point. They give themselves 4 opportunities to close it out. And this is why I always look to those first 2 rounds in the second half. It's been all Panderic Apex in half number 2.
Double down, double the rounds, 8-4, man. And you don't need to be a math student to know that this is looking rough. That utility kill is just so unfortunate. Outcast, their best weapon, being used against them. In terms of the gunplay, they're just not being able to find their match. Stripey's have been, unfortunately, having to have a rough game. But what utility can you still get off? Maybe start to launch those nades early, what we got to see earlier from K3 instead. Might be landing on your head dead. Rapid Rust finds one, but trades out. Bokizi's down. Captain's Deadski. Fox around that corner. Rapid Rust paying attention to the wrong one. Stripey graces the kill feed.
Codex finds Walker here as well. Can this be that single spark to ignite the spectral fire here for Stripey? Cacao begins to shift forward here. One in toward Mini Donut. Does he know it's a teammate, though? They're shooting at each other right now.
Guys, come on, not now. Certainly not in this moment. You're never immune to it. That just goes to show you top level of play still happens to the best of them. Stripey now shooting with the best of them as well. Feels empowered as that kill to show their skill. Winds around the A site. No one home. Knock, knock, who's there? Very well could be the last you see of the bracket.
Oh, they're just trying to be slow and methodical about this pressure in. The smoke toward the back of the site here as they look to pressure in with Cacao from the heavens above. He's raining down death.
Nemo had nowhere to go, but they're sleeping with the fishes now. Rest with your comrade, my friend. You'll be out of the bracket soon enough. 2v3, but Cacao's awfully low. We'll see if they can find a bit more. Stripey trying to get one more kill on top. Looks for Codex, but reacts a bit too late. And now they're in trouble. But Fox picks up the slack where they left off and drops Crank.
Stripey flirting with disaster. The 180's not there. Cacao picks him up. Back to a 2v1. Fox, not a ton of health, but he does find Cacao.
Come on!
Backpedal. Find the reload. Can he nail it here in a 1v1?
Looking for the defuse. You got to step up right now, Fox. There's no time left. It's just a fake. Got to be careful and methodical with how you approach it. They jump him down and shoot him out. Fox keeps hope alive.
Fox looking more like a bunny there with that bunny hop, scooping him up and bopping him on the head. They've found a way back into it. They're down by 3. They've got to get 3 now in a row if they want to press this one into overtime. It's a dangerous position to be in, and now I've started to realize that I believe Stripey has just that bug. So it's showing 0 kills. We know he's got at least 1, but maybe more. So we might have been unfairly judging him a moment ago.
Our bad, Stripey, nonetheless. Welcome to the game of Tarkov. You're actually stepping up, and we're starting to show out here. Either way, Stripey there was incredibly pivotal to get that kill. And either way, it results in Outcasts sticking around a bit longer. Walker able to drop Rapid Rust is a great way to start things off. Outcasts looking to not fight their last. Fox goes down. It's a big kill. Bokizi's out of it as well. Nimanos still stands, but quickly Codex puts them down. That's your best fighter lost.
Back to a 2v3, though. Blitzer Girl finds Codex onto Stripey. Now on a 2v2, though. It could all come down to this, a potential last round on the cards. The device down in an awkward spot here We do see Walker. He's consistently on this flank, and he might catch Cacao off guard.
Oh, Walker sweeps the leg. Cacao is out of it. Go to the lost and found. Anyone lose their explosive device? Come to aisle 3 to pick it up. Codex drops him instead. A 1v1. Walker, get those dentures out of there, buddy. The senior citizens got to step up.
Yeah, and this is a big pick for Codex because they know where Walker is because he got the kill onto Cacao. The device is down, and they haven't even been able to pick it up yet. So Codex can kind of just chill out for a little bit, force Walker to have to make the play here.
Might just see who ends up stepping up to finals right from this round. Match point. Walker knows the importance. But does Codex know where they are? Looks to go for the device. Instead, runs up, moves to left side. Wraps on the backside, just trying to secure all the territory. Picks it up as well, but can they get the plant?
And that's what's tough. Not a ton of time. Walker will try to dip in. Pros don't fake, as they say, whether it's plant or defusal. He drops it down. He almost gets caught in the animation, but he's able to make it to safety, and he dips back a bit further.
Codex somehow actually gets bruised. I don't even know how any of those bullets didn't find their mark, but now Codex under pressure. It's all shifted hands. This wily cat and mouse game, Panda versus Outcast. Codex peeks out, goes back in, and gets dropped. Outcast! Stay in it! A couple more shots, double tap just to make sure he's dead. It's not zombie land, but the dead are coming back to life.
Dead are coming back to life, and that was huge, though. We see Walker on the Enforcer class. On that initial peak where I don't know how Codex took some damage there. He actually shot Walker in the head. That Enforcer class bullet ate it. You saw he had a red head and a red thorax, but a light bleed, it wasn't enough. That's why that Enforcer class can be so difficult to deal with.
6 to 8 here. Still quite the dividend to work your way back from, but you got to be feeling like you're walking on air if you're Outcasts. Just got to make sure you don't fly too close to the sun and descend like Icarus did himself. Codex. Blocked by the Willipede. Fox would be a great kill to make your way off with. Tries to strip the pelt. Get some leather for the Smithy. Not going to be successful. No one damaged quite just yet. Everyone clean.
And there, Apex is looking to be walking on sunshine soon as Rapid peeks in toward mid. Shots up toward the top here. Has to be careful. Blitzer Girl lurking, but Bakizi in a very cheeky spot here as well. And again, we see both teams drastically slowing it down a bit.
Understandable, given how these last couple rounds have been so frenetic at the end, but always starting off a bit more slow. Have that device in pocket, but where the question is, do you dedicate your forces to try to actually get the plant off? Typically, it's coming in these last scramble situations. The plant is never really without a lot of bodies already having dropped. I wonder if you're going to try to change that. B-side is awfully vulnerable. One member of Pan Apex still guarding it. Going to find the rotation here. Outcasts biding their time, but only 40 seconds left.
40 seconds left. Things about to unfold. The beautiful chaos to ensue.
No.
And it's Cacao to take the legs.
Okay.
Clean off Fox, but Stripey answers back. Crank will find one as well.
Okay, Stripey makes it plaid stripes across the screen. Bokizi is out of it to 3v3, and Blitzer Girl puts it in Outcast's favor. Codex and Crank, the two C's, to see if they can bring them victories. But Outcast, 19 seconds left. You gotta remember, you still need a plant. Nice!
And Blitzer Girl sitting toward the spawn here, catches Codex on the rotation. Now on a 3v1, it's all down to Crank. And Outcast are one away from tying it up and sending us into overtime.
My God, this is a game to vote. I mean, Hot, you called it. You don't need to pat your back any more than I'm sure you already have. But this is the game to look at. This is the series. Disgusting. Stripey is literally battling against the game's client himself. Says 0 kills. I don't even care what the numbers say. I'm looking to get this victory.
Yeah, he's been putting in some work these last couple rounds, and
Yes!
certainly has been a big game changer here. Now they've got to continue to do so, and unfortunately, it's Cacao. Nemo getting a taste of his own medicine there. Fox will answer back, and a 1-for-1 pick.
Good pick on each side, honestly, to take down. Cacao and Nemo were certainly big threats. The big gunslingers, Rapid Ross certainly won as well. Quickly puts down the Fox. Blitzer, Walker, and Stripey, all hopes rest on their shoulders. See what they can do about it. Crank holds the corner. Stripey, not sure if they want to advance, understandably so. Tildy comes out there and the nade slinks right on by. Rapid Rust gets blown up and Outcast answer back. Even the odds.
Walker, he's always got that anything you can do, I can do better attitude as he answers back with an aid here. #1 arena player in EU for a reason and getting to showcase that talent here. Already up to 9, but it's Blitzer Queen or Blitzer Girl that's in double digits. 13 big ones here. 3 players for Pandaric Apex in the double digits with Crank knocking at the door here as well. Bakizi tucked in toward mid. He's going to hear this rotation. Trigger discipline is huge. He's going to... Oh, but he misses!
Oh, dear God!
Away!
Tragic for Bokeezy. It was not made easy. And now it's looking breezy for Outcasts instead. 3-2. Blitzer Girl certainly took some damage from it, but hey, bruises and scrapes, that's A-okay. You can't come back from death itself. Codex, as the offense needs to climb up those stairs. Climb up the rungs of that ladder. Try to knock down Outcast from climbing it up themselves. Finds 2 around that device. Gonna be able to drop 1. No, they missed 2. Walker gets the kills. Only Prank left.
Yeah, someone was in the pockets of their teammate as well. He had a real opportunity to potentially find a 2K. He doesn't get a single one.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, we are headed to overtime.
That comes down to 2 very unfortunate engagements, right? Prank had the line of sight. Bokeezy had the line of sight. 2 times it happens, and 2 times is all you need. How many times have we said on Hot Sauce, best of 1? Singular mistakes like that could very well be what you look back on when you're in your bed, staring up at your ceiling, having an existential crisis, wondering, man, why didn't I just shoot them better? But you know what? High pressure, high performance. That's what these players have to deal with. And I'm sure the pressure is going to mount even further in this OT.
Oof. If the palms weren't sweaty, I'm sure they are now. It's going to come all down to this here. Outcast, they've battled back. They've weathered the storm, and now they can begin to see the light on the other side. But you can't get complacent. You got to power through.
I'm a Pandaric believer, but I got to say Outcasts have also won my heart. I don't know who I want to win. I don't know who's going to win. Nemo trying to make that answer clear for me. Drops Codex, retreats back, doesn't overstay their welcome. Brilliant play. Wow!
Nemo!
Okay.
The 2K. Bakizi will cook him up just after, but it's giving him the player advantage. Crank nullifies it, though, and that's the Andreezy lineup I was looking for.
I'm sick of these grenades, says Outcast. We can use it fine, but don't use it against us. That's just cruel. Bokeezy is awfully low. Blitzer Girl's got some scrapes as well. Some wounds they need to lick. But we don't have time for that. No Band-Aid's going to be provided for you. Instead, just bullets. Bloodshed on the mark. Bokeezy takes advantage of the smoke, advances forward. Gets positional advantage on Stripey and maybe looks to plant as well. They know it's happening. Pros don't fake like you said. And make no mistake of it. They're going back in. Blitzer Girl finds an aid in response. Takes down Bokeezy, but Stripey got gunned down.
Yeah, she kills the device planner, but he gets that device down just in the nick of time here. And so, Pandaric Apex could be a little passive if they choose to do so. It's going to be up to Outcast to find this pressure forward, but Walker is always lurking about on that flank, and I'm hoping they've taken note of that.
Blitzer's got 2 people to keep watch over. Babysitting, if you will. Looking at Crank and Cacao. Walker from the left side in danger. See some ire tented toward them, and Blitzer Girl steps out a bit too far. Crank punishes that over-aggression. Walker moves in for the kill. Can they get even one? No. Cacao drops him.
It was a close one. It was a close one. But Pandaric Apex back on top. Just like that, they've got the lead once more. If they could find both of these attacking rounds, it could spell trouble for Outcast.
The dead come back to life, Hot Sauce. It's a real thriller out here. And Outcasts are coming for your brains, your hearts, your livers, everything. And the final spot, too. They're used to playing back from a deficit, but only so much of it you can take. 2 minutes on the clock. Second round of OT begins.
Here we go. Cacao finding the first one on the Stripey as well. And Bakizi taking out a teammate. Girl finds Crank in the back and forth. It's all blue in the kill feed this time. Nemo on the Bakizi and Cacao in a world of hurt.
Oh my God, you can't be doing it like this. Pandaric are cannibals. Seems that bloodlust goes both ways, a double-edged sword. Pandaric develops a taste for panda flesh. in the worst moment it could happen. The comeback. Once again, Outcasts. By no means do they live up to the name. They are the ones to beat. They are the ones to look up to. Cream of the crop. Wheat separated from the chaff here. 9-9. All comes down to these last two.
All down to the final two. And you know, both of these teams are going to be fighting for this round, right? At a minimum, you guarantee yourself a little bit of overtime if it doesn't go your way, but you get to be in that driver's seat. You get a little bit of that weight off your shoulders. So this is an incredibly crucial round.
Every round must have a victor. Who's it going to be this go around? The fort remains still. Wart. Everyone moves down to that right side. Nade comes out a bit early. Pandaric Apex not going to fall for it. A bit of damage on a Codex, but Makizi answers back with a kill on a Walker to start things off. Fox gets one on Rapid Rust. Could look for more.
Yeah, Fox fine on that first one. And now Nemo picking up on the Codex. This could be the play they need, but they have to continue to solidify this important round. There's two tucked toward the spawn side going to be spotted here, so they are going to shift back just a bit.
Good. Cacao and Crank are the ones that you really want to take out, so the fact that they're still alive for Pandaric is actually fantastic. Outcasts still retain both Fox and Nemonas. And that is a good thing if you ask me. They lost Rapid, unfortunately, due to the rapid moves. And Nemo, who, speaking of, just keeps swimming. Crank goes down too.
Back and forth yet again. They've shifted toward the other site here, though, and they might have a real opportunity. Does look like there is a player back there. That's Cacao, and he finds Fox. Makizi toward mid. The spotted one as well. Can he hit it? No. The moves like Jagger, but Cacao is locking down the site.
2-2, Stripey and Nemonas, an evenly led matchup if you ask me based on the balance we've seen so far, but Cacao is going to correct that chart, says, nah, put me up on the top and drop Nemonas down 6 feet under in a pillowcase.
13 on the board. Now against Stripey. And don't let that 0 there fool you. He definitely has some kills on the board. Catches Cacao on the back pedal. Almost gets some, but it's the 180. Stripey goes down, and Pandaric Apex has solidified a minimum of another overtime. They've given themselves the best chance to win out, and it was Cacao on a 4K. That's his 6th MVP.
I'm turning on my AC. Hold on. This is too hot for me. I'm sweating. I'm not even playing. No rifle in my hands, but I'm feeling a bit sticky here. And this is a sticky situation for your Outcast, but again, not an unfamiliar one. Death is an old friend. Defeat is an acquaintance we've long since trifled with, but we're not going to let it go down easy. One last round to prove your mettle.
One more to rule them all. We can see him already heading toward this A site here. Crank. But a cheeky little position, trying to find Fox on the peak. Has to be careful here with this one.
Grab the back, get one, the other's gonna get you instead. Blitzer girl, Blitzkrieg mows him down. Nemonas though will fall. Cacao is popping off, but Fox quickly stops that killing spree. Now around the back, it's Codex trying to look for more, avenge their friend. But they can't quite get the kills off. 3-3, Stripey nursing some wounds.
Rapid will begin to shift forward. Who else but Walker to claim another one as the nade lands at the feet of Codex, and nothing you could do about that one but tuck your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye. Fox on the peak. He spotted him, but it's not enough.
No es pasa de rapidito. No estás muerto. Rapid gonna take down the Fox. And Rapid's gonna make sure to finish off Walker as well. It all comes down to Stripey. 0 kills, they say. They underestimate you. They overrate you. Can you step up to the plate?
Caliente is all I got for you on that one. Rapid. Makizi hit a 2v1. Stripey.
Good damage.
Spot him.
No!
Oh, he looked to isolate the 1v1. It was a good attempt. But Rust, Pandaric Apex does it. 11-9. 31 kills for Cacao. Insane.
What a freaking game, man. Oh my god. Finals. You put the finals in semifinals. Let me tell you that. OG, a comeback that you could only dream of from Outcasts. 4 rounds down, painstakingly climbed their way back to the top, only to be booted back to the bottom. They gave it their all. It just wasn't enough, but nonetheless, a huge, huge congratulations and well done to both teams. Pandaric, move on. Frank as well as Cacao, baby. Papow. Every single time you see that player step up, many several bodies will drop, typically from the opposing side. But who knows? Maybe even a couple team kills too. Kakao is just that crazy. But that's the player certainly to look at here as we hop into game. We'll get to see if they put the rest to shame. Gonna be our friends on Pandaric versus Decoded.
Kyle recently doing that in-game during a raid podcast with Timmy. If you guys haven't had a chance to go check it out, it's a fun one. Be sure to do so. But we're ready for this best of three. We're ready to crown our king here today. Pandaric Apex taking on Decoded here on Fort.
Pandaric on the defensive end. Instantly look to gun down the device, and they do succeed. Reeth and Denny both dead. Ashtray smokes one to start. But Pan Rapid Rust gonna be able to finish off Gurkus. Ashtray, though, keeps it up, finds three-piece and calls. Makes a call for home for Rapid Rust. It's only gonna be a 2-for-1 now as Bokeezy's on the back end.
See what Bokeezy can cook up here. Like someone was reaching into the pockets of the teammate, maybe looking for a little bit of extra resources here. Bokeezy will dip around momentarily. Intel does come out, and now he knows exactly where the other one is, but Calls is going to shift here as well.
Trouble here. The Panda's back against the corner. But a corner animal oftentimes fights its hardest. Device in pocket, trying to look for the shots on top of Ashtray, but they'll return it right back and start off with the hot hand. Gonna be Decoded with that round one.
Round one, it's got to feel good. It's a nice start here in Ashtray. Look at that, a 4K on the round. It happened so fast, I guess I didn't catch them all, but Calls has been that upcoming star that I've had my eye on, has been playing very well in that last weekend. Looking to see if they can continue that here as well. Agurkus on that Enforcer class with that Ash 12 still holding it down. So they've got that round one. Can they build off of it, though? I think that's the important part that we always talk about, those rounds in bunches. And to be able to do it against a team like Pandaric Apex would be huge.
There might be not many kill streaks in Tarkov, but it still can be just as impactful when you're able to string together multiple kills, multiple round victories. Frank waits for someone to step it up. The flash comes out. Kakao shooting the blind fire, nothing, but does find Reed through the door frame. Bokeezy takes down Calls as well. The rising star now plummets back to earth, and Ashtray will go down to the dirt too.
Agurkus going to find a teammate as Rapid will eventually take them out. And Pandaric, maybe a tough round one, but a flawless round two. They don't drop a single member in that one.
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate that we saw that team kill come out there from Agurkus. Just getting a bit antsy. He says, I got to kill something. Not going to grace the kill feed, though, with it, unfortunately. And that, I'd say, you shake that one off. You know, you're Decoded. You say that last round was a bit clumsy on our parts. Messed up a little bit, got some team kills, but nonetheless, that first round was won through pure tactical precision and superiority. So hopefully we can repeat that action. Wrap around on the right side here. And Kakao this time is going to be the one with the team kill. Talked about it before. Kakao's a danger to anyone who steps up, teammate or foe alike.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Frank going down to the nade early. Decoded the player advantage. They begin to shift forward. Bokeezy will back off towards spawn side. The flash just misses the mark. One leg down here for Bokeezy as well.
Troubled waters. Bokeezy certainly taking their licks, but trying to dish them right back, holding the line alongside their brother in arms. Decoded, taking their time on this offensive pressure, but might need to step up the pace a bit more. Minute down left. Codex keeps eye over A site, rather B. Tries to make sure that no one can see them for dead. Codex knows they're starting to wind back around, but Rapid Rust takes down Denny. Rust will go down and trade, and Reeth will fall as well.
Codex just holding down the spawn side here. We can see Calls beginning to drop that device, spray through the box, but it is going to be just a bit off the mark here.
Unfortunate. If you're a Pandaric fan. Decoded, though, are feeling awfully nice about putting the pressure on the other side. Bullets come through, the wall bangs not on the mark. Calls instead. Takes down the Codex. We got the real code to victory, gosh darn it. Kakao and Bokeezy still stand, running right headlong into Agurkus' spray. Hellfire meets Kakao, and they will drop.
Easy. All alone in this one, spear in hand, but not a ton of rounds left in the mag here as well. Agurkus, Saltma Peak will find it, and Decoded finds themselves back up on top yet again. It's a nice start here for them.
Well, well, well. Look at that, Decoded. Starting to try to prove the naysayers wrong. Still got an awful long ways to go. You mentioned this before. Can't get overconfident. You can't get cocky. Only so many teams have had the pleasure, or rather the fear, the curse to base up against Panderic themselves. And they're certainly going to make sure that they take their best shots at you. 5-man strong, they sprint headlong into combat. Can Decoded make it happen again?
And Derek Apex, they're that team that looks scarier than the gas station bathroom. And speaking of which, it's Crank. He's cranking out the kills. It's a huge triple, and he's not done. He's got the fourth. There's an ace on the cards. Kill the Motorhead, but McKeezy snatches it away, and Panderic ties it up yet again.
Frank is just absolutely stank. The way that they are able to step up here, that ace, you can stay at home. We are good. Crank has got you covered. Hopefully they're paying this guy overtime because we are not trying to get to that point. It is at the very least tied up for now, 2-2. But that was a very decisive round, and those are the kind of rounds that you can easily use as foundations to build off of your empire. Decoded have got to quickly try to put a stutter in their step, get that speed bump going, make them falter.
I feel like that ace just doesn't want anybody to know he can play things other than the snipe, and he's just playing under a hidden alias over here. Crank is killing it, and he's not slowing down. He finds another double kill. How do you stop this man?
Well, it's up Cacao at the very least, but Rapid Russ is going to answer back just as soon. No ace this time around going to be either left on the board for our friend Crank. That's A-okay. We still have the advantage. It's 2v3. Crank sends some bullets outward, trying to corral Ashtray into the spot they want. Advancing on fourth, you hear that Denny is going headlong to the point. That's surely communicated to the rest of the team. Panderic fan out, scything towards that point. But the device will get planted prior. Now it's a retake from Panderic. Oh!
McKeezy finding the one onto Denny, and now it's all down to Ashtray. He's been a clutch factor, 6 kills on the board, but no easy feat here. He's going to find McKeezy to open it up. Codex, Crank. The 2 C's. Ashtray, look at how much health is left.
Okay, hold on, though. Drops Crank. Doesn't matter, ace or not, you're still going down around the corner. It's a blind fire. Can you finish the job? Codex guns him down.
Oof, that was a close one, yes. And had he had a few more rounds in that mag, it may have gone his way, but great plays here by Codex to clutch it up when it matters most. Up 3-2 now, but I am pleasantly impressed with the showing from Decoded here.
Snaps there from Decoded. They were going into this match certainly overlooked, certainly underestimated, and they are starting to try turn the tables, say, hey, correct the leaderboards, all right? Take those Panderic banners off the windows. This series ain't over, not by a long shot. Back up to the races. Let's see if they can get back on the board and tie it up.
Codex, an early nade this time, and it is going to find Wraith. These nades continue to set them up for success. Panderic, it's Cacao to drop. Calls, though.
That's huge. That's actually such a massive kill, but Rapid Russ going to quickly make sure to stop them from feeling too celebratory. Nade comes out there, but not going to find too much. Bakizi stands strong. Codex from high ground as well. Gurkha's going to try to keep them both locked in place as calls. Take some much-needed time to get a breather, get some healing back online, and they're looking awfully low as well. It's a 3v4, Panderic's favor.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Gurkhas finding a teammate here will eventually get Bakizi as well. He said, that's what I meant to do the first time. My apologies.
He said, dude, you're trying to take my kill. Get out of here. Instead of making sure that they get all the accolades, I'm sure from the grave, their friend is cursing them for it. Nonetheless, Decoded still have possibilities here. Calls is awfully low. Gurkhas, though, full clean bill of health. True villains never get true justice as they take their position up around B site to get the plant.
Codex will shift in. Find a Gurkhas who had the device in hand. It does get dropped, and now it's all down to Calls, who tries to linger on toward the site, but has so many angles to check here.
Good bunny hop there past the doorway. Actually spares the life. Gurkhas Calls rather turns back, says, hey, what's happened there? Well, what happened is he got shot down. Crank finishes the job, 4-2. Panderic double down on the rounds.
Watch me crank, watch me roll. Now Superman that fool. Hey, Crank that soldier boy out here, man. He is a soldier, and he is putting bodies in bags yet again. Panderic They double the lead one more time, and well, they've guaranteed that minimum of a tie at half here. Anything extra would be nice.
I've got some crazy analysis for you. Stop team killing. We need to stop doing that. It's a really advanced tip from a very experienced Tarkov player, but we kind of need to stop doing that. That nade kill as well, starting off really solid from Panderic. They use that very well up against their former opponents, that being Outcast, but the bullets spell a different story. Ashtray gonna take down Rapid.
Count. Bit of a pre-fire, now the peek from behind, but Cacao finds one, Bakizi the other, and Ashtray eventually snuffing out the flame that is Cacao to bring it back to a 3v3.
Bring us to double digits as well. Ashtray is absolutely murdering it. Leave some kills for the rest of the team, huh? This is why your team is having to kill each other instead. They just want some sort of bloodshed. Bakizi up top, looking for Ash. That peek very well might be the last move you make. Very patient play here, waiting for their chance. Gonna just quickly pickpocket what resources we can, loot, and try to shoot. Codex does the latter very well. It takes down 2 bodies. Now it's only the captain left.
Ashtray tries to zig and zag, but Bakizi puts him in a grave here. Panderic begins to extend that lead now and get back to the Panda type things. So 5-3 half, much more manageable than 6-2 for whatever reason. It's only a round, but when you only get to 9, everyone very crucial here. Decoded needing to take this final round of the first half.
What you up to, Apex? Just Panda things. 5-2, certainly not the worst place to be for Decoded. The fact that we get those 2 rounds up so early is a big boon. But in this scenario, you now are starting to fall in that backward slide where you see those rounds be strung together, which is always what we talk about for good reason. Panderic can get one more up here. It'll feel really rough to go into that next half. You want to try to start off with a fresh start and a good outlook.
Paul's looking for a little intel here, beginning to shift forward, locking down cannons. Now we see that rotation on the minimap as they begin to kind of collapse around this Decoded squad.
All 5 members are up, but it still does feel like they have their number. You just look at the placement. One member, though, of Panderic is far back. He gets the nade kill onto Bakizi. Ashtray says, hey, I can use these too.
It looked like Bakizi turned to run, but I don't know if maybe the shift key just wasn't working because the legs weren't moving and the nades, well, they took them clean off. Bakizi looking like Lieutenant Dan.
That's a really solid start there from DCD. Yeah, cook those legs up and put them in a bag for later. Save them for Bakizi for next round. He could use them. Unfortunately, Rapid Rust gonna make sure that you lose him too. Calls and Kirkus both go down. Looks up top. Craig finds another. Rapid Rust is gonna go down, but Craig still answers back, drops the captain, and Cacao takes out Denny as well. Gonna be looking to defuse that device and keep on fusing up these victories, man. Keep collecting them. You're looking at that champion spot in just a second. 6 up for Panderic.
Frank, the Pandas putting the bamboo and bamboozle here as they have really had just an astounding first half. 6-2. It's a great start. And, you know, for Decoded, you know, we always say we look to these first couple rounds of the second half. They need at least one of the 2, but realistically, they need both of them.
Yes. Wholeheartedly agree with you there. It's not going to be an easy case, though. It's always easier said than done, is it not? But maybe on defense, we see a bit of an easier time. Maybe they like to play more methodically. I'm trying to rack my brains back to the prior sets we've seen, but I feel like Decoded, in this case, Panderic are very willing to adapt their playstyle. That's what we've been asking for before. That's evolution at its finest, baby. They play it slow, but they also can play it rapidly, steadily, and deadlily as well. So we'll see how they adapt their strategy as they make their first push. I think this is going to be a great indicator of what the rest of this defensive end will look like from Decoded.
Shout out to the observers. They got to have some drone flying skills here. Speaking of skills, though, it's Cacao and Rapid. They combine for 3. And, well, the struggles for Decoded continue, but not for Ashtray. He is a menace.
That marksmanship is so impressive. Don't need the TRG for that. Around the corner, Rapid Rust. You back up. It might be your last move, but watch the left side. Cacao could very well find that peak, but it's actually going to be answered back by Trey. Not well enough as the rest of Panderic finish the job. That's the first of those first 2 rounds. And man, Ashtray is absolutely killing it. 12-7. But we need to see the rest of the team once again pick up that slack. You can't see one person only batting with 0 kills.
I actually thought Ashtray had gotten that shot on Cacao jumping over the box, but it was a Gurkus from the side who did get that kill before they were both eliminated almost immediately or simultaneously. But I mean, this is what we're used to. Pandaric Apex, yeah, they stumbled a little bit early. You know, Dakota got a couple rounds, but right now they're showing that maybe that was a bit of a fluke here because Pandaric back to Pandaric things. Wraith, though, dropping Crank early. Could be what they need as he finds a second one.
Did this guy bring infrared vision? I don't think it's an attachment you're allowed in this game. Wow, brilliant wall bangs come out there from Wraith. Reaps the souls of two. A leap right back. Unfortunately, it's into the underworld. Rapid Rust quickly takes back the advantage and evens the odds. 2 for 2.
And that is what Rapid is known for. They multi-kill king. Doing it yet again when things look grim. Able to reel it back now on a 2v2. And plenty of time here on the clock. They don't have to get overzealous or worry about this device plant. The nice thing is Dakota is up for a 1-1 split here, setting up at both sides. So as long as they pressure onto site together, find that trade at a minimum, they should still be able to at least get the plant.
Nice thing in my mind is that Ashtray's up if you're a Dakota fan, and you don't have to worry about Cacao, who's one of the greatest threats Pandaric can offer. I think this is actually a very favorable position. I'm not going to say it's going to be actually theirs to win, but it's certainly not the worst outlook you could have. Codex, like you said, taking their time, recognizing we don't need to rush into things quite just yet. But as we tick down to 30 seconds, time split in half, and the nerves start to build. Rapid Rust, though, quickly takes down a Gurkus. It all comes down to the captain.
Yeah, you look at the mini-map there, and he rotated all the way through their spawn, was able to find that kill in the back, and that's going to be bait out an early rotation from Ashtray, but I think he's heard the audio cue. He's got the idea. He's got a nade in hand, too. He could have potentially denied that play at 14 seconds on the clock. It takes 4 to get it down, and, well, they're able to do so.
It's in pocket. The Hail Mary. Let's see what your jump shot's looking like, buddy. Unfortunately, a bit off the mark. Gonna need a flop, get some free throws instead. Steps up. Looks for Codex there. Some blind fire shots, give away location, but not going to give away their life quite just yet. The drop down as well. Gets a bit of extra damage off, but not too much. Big rotation.
Oh, he has to step out between a rock and a hard place. And, well, Rapid will successfully take that one. That was a big round there for Rapid as they go to match point and look to close out map number 1. We're guaranteed at least an iceberg here in map number 2, and we'll get to Bay 5 should we need it, but Pandaric Apex looking like they're ready to close it out in 2.
Yeah, they say we're good. You guys don't even need to show that map. We don't even need to talk about it. Let's just get to the iceberg. I'm trying to get my coat on, stay nice and warm, and freeze the rest of the competition over. But we'll see. I still got some faith that Dakota got some tricks up their sleeve. And Ashtray's playing so gosh darn well. They're really doing a great job of these solo clutch-up attempts. It's not finding it, nonetheless, but it's okay because as long as the rest of your team's able to at least get one pick, I want to see Wraith repeat that action we saw before. They're on the board now. Let's see if they can do it again.
Yeah, I mean, Ashtray is having a hell of a game here. 12, currently the kill leader, even through these 10 rounds, despite the troubles his team has had at the moment. Denny on the pre-fire, but it's Cacao again. The Piranha round shredding the flesh in the competition. Rapid from a distance, finding calls. Ashtray can't thread the needle.
Nade up top. See if you can drop anyone. Not going to be the case. 3v5, not favorable conditions. Billy P drops on down, and Rapid Rust going to be the red herring for Cacao to finish off the captain. One more added to the body charts, but at the very least, Wraith does find one kill, so it's not a flawless yet.
9-2 is the final scoreline here on Fort. I mean, Dakota came
in at you momentarily to see just who earns the accolade this time around. Yeah, Rapid is a good candidate for it. Cacao is certainly threatening, but Rapid with those multi-kills, getting and stringing together double after double to put you in trouble was really impressive. 3.0 KD ratio. Yikes. That's gross.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Crank didn't grab this one. I mean, we saw a quadra kill that was almost an ace, followed by an immediate triple there as well. And so, Rapid has had many MLPs, and he'll grab another one here. But I think in my heart, Crank was the MLP of that fort.
Honestly, Crank on that one play was kind of cracked. It was pretty insane. So I definitely wouldn't blame anyone for considering that the honorary winner. I wish we could give almost like the, I guess what would it be? Most lethal losing, MLLP, most lethal losing player. That would be Ash for certain, right? Because they performed so well. Can they carry that onward is my question. I really hope they didn't put all their gas into that one effort. because there's still plenty more game you could have to left to play. And you're really hoping for the captain to keep on leading with that banner in hand and stride in their step. The ones you're looking to pick up, Denny a little bit. Denny was formerly most lethal as well, and is looking a little bit less. Those claws have gotten a bit dulled, maybe.
Yeah, and we all have tough games from time to
Of
time. I
course.
think it's, you're not defined by that, right? But by how you bounce back in those following games. So,
Bingo.
we don't talk about that mental fortitude enough, but, I think a lot of these players are really good about taking a deep breath, GG's, go next. But I mean, there are at times we've all been there. We're all human where it does linger in the back of the mind a little bit. So you have to be willing to let that go and really just kind of, focus on the carrot that's in front of you, so to speak.
You say okay. I'm a big fan of carrots here. Love me a delicious carrot. Just gonna lean forward. But that being said, you say we're all human. Untrue. 5 of these guys are pandas, actually, and that might be the difference maker. Maybe it's just their animal instincts taking over here. They don't need to worry about things like human emotion, remorse, regret. They have no such things. They only see their target, that delicious carrot, dangling in front of them. I don't think pandas eat that either, if I'm being honest, but I'm not a zoology expert. I'm a caster. We're going to be looking to get into some more games here on the iceberg. Now, Hot Sauce, we might not have all the download on this map, but beyond just up close and personal, what can we expect out of this frigid landscape?
Oof, yeah, it's often, and at least to what I've seen in the past, it's a very, very fast-paced map. A lot of these rounds end almost as quickly as they begin. Over toward the A site, I mean, not a lot of cover. Smokes can be important here, but
Mhm.
it's just hard. There are a couple nice one-way lineups as well, but even with that skylight there, sometimes there's been some issues with seeing like a silhouette through the smoke of that skylight. So all something that you kind of have to take in consideration and be careful here with.
Make sure to use your utility well. We've seen so far it's traded sides. Both have been pretty efficient with nades. Both have gotten kills on friend and foe alike. So tighten up there, please, we beg. And I'm sure your teammates will thank you too. And all the pressure at this point is going to be on Decoded. Panderic, I'm sure, feeling confident. Again, never cocky, never arrogant, but it's an assurance that comes from so many games won, so many opponents felled beneath their mighty blade and bullet, that I'm sure they see this as a certain victory up ahead. It's just going to take a few more rounds for them to get there. Decoded, it's up to you to break that streak.
I mean, after a 9-2 win, I might be feeling a little cocky myself. So, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I agree. I think Panderic Apex, probably is coming into this. Hey, guys, we've got this in the bag. We know we can beat them. We just 9-2. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's not give them any boost of confidence. Let's
Bingo.
not let this spill over into Bay 5. Let's show everybody that we're HPL 4 season champions for a reason. We're looking to topple them in ACS as well. And, well, this would be a great way to close off the LCL Seeding Cup for EU.
Yeah, man, absolutely. You want to start off. Your incumbent is generally favored in any election, but is it the same in Tarkov? Panderic are saying, yes, we look to retain this throne with an iron fist, and they're not going to let it go so easily. If you want the crown, come take it off of our cold, dead corpse. I don't think, though, that's going to be the case if any indication comes from history. And history, Hot Sauce, tends to repeat itself. We'll find out shortly, though, if Decoded can maybe find a way to change the past.
Yeah, I mean, they've got an opportunity to kind of rewrite the history books here for themselves. And, again, really just kind of make a name for themselves, even though they're well known, but really kind of make put a stamp on it as far as LCL goes here. Panderic Apex, I think they're firing on all cylinders right now. They're looking very good. You take in the likes of the 4 Shining Stars, Crank coming in as that sub and just having a lights out performance here. So cards certainly stacked against Decoded here, but we all love a great Cinderella story.
Absolutely. Just got to start learning to count them instead. Bet on the house. We trade on the house. We actually cheat the house instead. Well, don't actually cheat in the game, but nonetheless, you want to make sure that you're still keeping those tricks up your sleeve. Keeping Ash, I think, in a prime position to dominate is still very important. I said it again, or I said it once, I'll say it again. Denny, want to see some kills, wetting their gun muzzle as well as Wreath. Wreath, I think of that one double kill off the wall bang, that was so impressive. And I look back to their first game against Pulse, where Wreath was really popping off to start things off. I want to see him and Denny doing the fusion dance, getting all their chakras aligned, and getting some kills in a line as well. Line them up for the slaughter, an execution squad, if you will. Try to put them down before we can see our friends on Panderic start to really run away with things.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, we know Ashtray can put up the kills. All of them can. We've seen Agurkus having some great showings on that Ash 12 for the Enforcer. And so I think Denny Wraith just a little bit quiet in that last one, but it happens to us all. We all, sometimes the shots just don't hit. We don't have a perfect game every game. And
Of
so
course.
we look to see him bounce back here. Of course, it is a tall task, a big ask for the squad of Decoded, but I love this never say never attitude from him. It doesn't matter the score line or whether it's a 1v5. They continue to lay it all on the line. And that's just been a wonderful showing here today.
Listen, chances to face teams with this amount of experience only come around so often. You can, at the very least, take from this a learning experience, and at the very most, can take away a championship and potentially make yourself a name written amongst the stars of the Tarkov greats here in this EU division. It's going to be a tough one, though, and certainly not going to be an easy one, especially when you consider the fact that Panderic have, again, that wind beneath their sails. You consider how they got here, fresh off the back of the semifinals victory, now fresh off the back of that game one. We're in the iceberg, so it's a great place to cool off a little bit, those hot hands. We'll find out if it's going to be the case. Panderic, step up once more. Decoded are their answer.
I think Panderic's got those hot hands. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Break out the die because it's calls to find Crank to open it up, though.
Great start. Fantastic to put down Crank. That was definitely one of the most lethal players. They're not actually given the accolade, but nonetheless was certainly stepping up. Rapid Rust, though, that's the most lethal one. Calls figures out firsthand. Wreath answers back, though. Some shots moving out from Cacao. Get some damage on a Wreath, but then he answers back before Rapid Rust quickly evens up the tally. 2v2 here as Rapid takes down Ash Traypod, and only Wreath and Agurkus stand strong.
Rapid, Codex, Agurkus, and Wraith now at a 2v2, much like the start of our last one on Fort, though.
Very true, in fact. Let's see if there's able to be a good start for Dakota this time around. Rapid Rust with the bunny hop over top and the drop on Agurkus. Perfectly places those shots. And now it's a 1v2, not a situation you're jealous of if you're looking at Wreath. Dodges the nade, but can you find the shots on mark?
Rapid. 4 kills on the board. A potential ace here as well. Does he go on the hunt? Rapid making some noise here as well. You take a look at where that device is down, and for Wraith, he's going to have to almost find both of these kills and forget the bomb.
Yeah, I just got to look instead at the damage. And Rapid Rust does have some dents in their bar as well. Unfortunately, that head poking out. Rapid Rust is going to be able to find the ace. All 5 bodies drop at their hand. The rest of their team, not even necessary. They're just fillers. They're just extras on the scene. The main star of attraction is definitely going to be Rust.
El Rapito. We might be on iceberg, but the hot hand continues and the hot shots follow. It's a big 5er on the board in the first round, and Decoded is going to have to get back to the drawing board.
I mean, you said it before. This is history repeating itself in a sense. Decoded nearly took that first round, and they had in that game one. To now see it go back to Pandara. I think that's, again, just the momentum spelling out a big factor here from Panderic. Also the skills, though. Calls takes down Bokizi to start, but Wreath will go down. Calls drops Crank as well, but it's not Rapid, and that's the one you really need.
Yeah, Calls is this player I've had my eye on. He's been playing very well through the first week, and a player that I'm not as familiar with, but has been a shining star, a valuable asset to Dakota.
Nice.
On the peak, finds Cacao, and they find themselves with a 2-player advantage.
Doesn't matter until Rapid's dead. This Bear's got the strength of 5 men alone. Codex is still there to back him up as well. Get some shots off. Find any kills to follow. But we'll look at the plant ops question. Only 30 seconds remain. Rapid Rust begins their game. Calls goes down.
Slowly but surely looking to make this comeback. Rapid, 6 kills on the board. No deaths just yet, but is going to have to pressure in here. Only 20 seconds. Rapid and Codex simultaneously combining for 2. Astray finds one, but he can't get the other. Rapid, 8 kills on the board. 2 rounds done, and a defusal will stack another MVP on the deck.
I hate to be right sometimes, but in this case I was. Unless you kill Rapid, your round's not over. It seems that Cacao has passed the proverbial torch over to Rapid Rust. Yeah, 8's pretty gross for 2 rounds, huh? That's like, what, 4 kills on average each round? Yeah, you got it, Rapid. Keep it up. You're doing great. Maybe, like, save some of those kills for the rest of your buddies who have 0? No,
Yeah,
you're doing, no, keep it up.
Cacao with a breadstick, Crank, the rest of the crew. I mean, zeros and ones, it's not that often, but it's not because they're dying. It's because they have to fight Rapid. They've got to fight their own teammate just to get kills at this point.
Might see a team kill come out then from Cacao. Certainly no, they're not opposed to it. So maybe we see Rapid grace the kill feed courtesy of their own teammate instead. No, instead it's Crank gonna find calls to start things off. Good for Panderic. Decoded. Just fighting for any scrap of momentum they can get. The nade comes out, but Crank's going to remain nice and safe there from the flash as well inside the doorway.
Decoded playing at a player disadvantage. One more time and doing it without calls, who's been the shining star here at the opening moments of Iceberg. Crank on the peak, spots one. Shots ring out in the pre-fire, not there, but it's Cacao from a distance who gets put down by a Gurkus.
Oh, God, a Gurkus. You are gross. Codex, though, is going to respond back. Says, I agree. Put him in the quarantine zone. Put him in the grave. Device being planted here by Dakota. They've certainly been successful in getting to the objective, but can they hold it is the question. With Rapid Rust still on patrol, I don't know.
Yeah, not going to be an easy one, but we'll see if they can pull out the stops here. Codex getting to pressure down the steps. Crank will let some shots ring out here as well. Now one spotted in the background. That's going to be Wraith who does. And now Bakizi, the call comes in. Codex finds Ashtray, and they collapse on toward Denny. He got one, but it's the only consolation prize he'll find on the way out.
Rust very kindly decides to only unlock a fraction of his real power and lets his friends get kills. Thank you, Rust. Now we learn to share. That's really important, certainly, in these high-level teams to make sure that everyone gets their just desserts, everyone gets to eat. 3 rounds up here for Panderic. They have not dropped nary one.
Nope, not one at all. And Rapid, 8-0, still doesn't have a single death. It was the first round that he didn't get a kill, though, so he said, let me just go ahead and sit back, you know, toss out a lawn chair here, enjoy some sun, maybe some drinks, and let the rest of the crew do what they do.
Yeah, I haven't quite seen any refreshments here on the tables here in Iceberg, but maybe with some more exploration, we'll get to see some nice little steak dinners laid out there. Get the grape leaves out. Fan my man. Denny, though, with the nade, puts down Crank to start. First time we see the hot hand in the favor Decoded, but now the question is, can you translate that to more kills?
Yeah, you got to be able to solidify round wins when you've got that advantage. And Cacao says no legs are safe. He's breaking ankles yet again.
That's the loss of the captain, who's this time around been a lot more quiet, twitching in their death throws. How horrible. But nonetheless, Panderic are going to continue on forward. Calls, drops Codex, but Cacao responds by dropping Gurkus as well. Decides to retreat, but can't quite find their way back to safety. No refuge granted. Wreath takes their head.
Keezy's going to fall here as well. No! It's all down the Rapid. Wraith, unfortunately, taking out a teammate, and now it makes this clutch a little bit easier for Rapid. He doesn't have a single death yet, and Dakota's going to have to serve him up his first one if they want to win the round.
Couple shots down the jump across. They know, sees the heads, can drop one to start. This man is immortal. Rapid Rust from up top. He's got the high ground. He's got the clutch. Panderic are not going down that easy.
Oh, El Rapido, my man, is a menace, an arch nemesis, and he's got the code for Decoded. They have got to find a way to slow down this raid boss.
This man has watched the Imitation Game. He knows how to break Enigma. Call this man Benedict Cumberpatch, and you're going to need a lot more than a patch to get the bruising, the bleeding staunched from what Panderic is doing to you, but it's really just this one freaking player. Rapid Rust. If this is what he's like when he's rusty, can you imagine when he's pristine? Dear God.
He is a young star, many years ahead of this talented GOAT, and he continues to get better. Finds the first Codex.
Leave them alone!
Oh, finally! Gets one, but one is all they can get. Wraith will find that second one before being chopped down by Codex. And Derek Apex, 5-0.
Gods can bleed, but it doesn't matter if there's still 4 acolytes ready to support them, venerating at the dais, the altar of their figure of worship. Rapid Rust, 11-1, 5-0 in favor of Panderic. Decoded, man, it's just hard to find what advice we can give. We talked about the fact that Ashtray was playing so well in that first game. Now it's just crickets. We're having a hard time putting together the pieces because the way that Rapid Rust is maneuvering, it forces so much attention, demands your eyes before they're shut permanently.
Yeah, these gods haven't gone down much. Maybe a call upon the enforcers to start aiming for the Achilles and see if they could chop down a god here. But Panderic doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. Crank on the pre-fire. The jiggle there as well. The barrel getting red hot, but will back off momentarily. Agurkus able to find the first one.
Okay, solid. Crank responds back by finishing off Agurkus. Ashtray pot takes down Crank. It's a chain. Whoever gets the kill is surely the next one to go. So Ashtray, watch your back. You might be next. Still in favor of Decoded. Can they translate it further up? Bakizi advances fourth. Rapid Rust holds position. Yikes.
Rapid. Gonna find another already. Shots continue to ring out. It's gonna be Ashtray now. Denny, they both find the pick, and this could be the round win they need.
Only Cacao remains. 3-1. Don't get a team kill now. Please, dear God, don't get a team kill now. Cacao had some more resources, some more ammo to the bandolier. But it's got to look for that deactivation. Sees behind. Enemies on all sides. All my friends are dead. Pushing them to the edge. Cacao moves forward. Blood in their eyes, unfortunately, stains the floor beneath them as they collapse to the ground. And Decoded take their first round.
A very important round for them, and they're going to have to battle back. They need at least one more. Ideally, you'd like to see them get both of these and find a 5-3 half, but easier said than done. Panderic Apex showing why they are the recent champions and the team to look to topple.
Yeah, man, you look back at their struggle up against Outcast and you say, this Panderic has come to play. They do not want to get to any OTs. They've got things to do, places to be, championships to win. They are in a rush to put up no fuss and finish the job. Bakizi around this corner has great opportunity for a flank. They've got to make sure to first take down Calls, who's called them out. But now kept in place by that hail of bullets. Bakizi just poking.
Wow, plaid stripes in the kill feed, though. It's Cacao, Ashtray, and Agurkus for one more. Can they find a way to battle back in this round?
Bakizi's held this ground, been so frustrating to deal with, has demanded so much attention from Decoded, but it's a red herring. The rest of the squad wrapping around the back. Slowly the noose. Can you feel your breathing be constricted? Decoded are about to be choked out of their life. Rapid takes down Agurkus, and the only one left is Ashtray.
Well, they're going to be able to plant the device here. Ashtray, the jump shot!
Nice!
He finds Bakizi!
Okay, from behind the curtain. Coming from stage left. Got to make sure you know your theater background, buddy. But there's no actors here on the stage. No funny business. This is all real. That championship. Ashtray decides to flee the scene. Device still in hand. Couldn't find the plant. And instead, he's got to plant some roots down here. Inside the pool. Goes to the other rotational spot. Finds B-site. Gets it down, but from both sides, Panderic approach.
Oh, Ashtray. Can he do the unthinkable? It was a 3v1. Now to a 1v1. Codex, Ashtray dancing around. 40 seconds on the clock, but Ashtray goes down. Codex will fire from the hip and dip in the whip. He's got the wood grain pistol grip. My man's looking flashy with a drip.
Tragic. I thought it was going to be there. That's when the captain really started to show their stuff. And that's just a taste. A little peek at the potential that Ashtray brings, and I'm glad to see it. At least now, we know that they're still in there. And hopefully we can bring that to a game where we have that advantage. Ashtray nearly had that 1v3 in their pocket. 6-1. Decoded. This time a bit down on their luck. Going into the side switch here, you want to try to see one more round victory before you get off onto the defense.
Love to see that here for them. Ashtray continues to create so many exciting moments here for us, but wasn't able to solidify that one. Crank pressing forward. Cacao. Rapid will take out a teammate, though, and Cacao will find one more. This round might just be over before it begins.
Okay, Reet does grab Cacao, so honestly, Rapid Rust might have made a bit of a blunder there, as now they're in trouble too. Bakizi will fall. It's a 1v2, and Rapid Rust has sustained some battle damage too, but it's all to Reet at this point.
One player. And unfortunately for them, Rapid still standing 14-3. And you look at where this device is down as well. I mean, they're just sitting around it locked down. Reef, though, finds one on the Rapid. It was a nice shot, but the numbers not in their favor. Codex will secure it. 7-1 is the half. Panderic Apex looking to close it out in dominating fashion.
One was standing, one was crouching. You can only aim for one at a time, buddy. So unfortunately, Wreath does not get the better hand of that trade. Nonetheless, shows they still have that fighting spirit. Side switch here. Going to now be on the attack is Pandaric. And to me, that's just terrifying. If I'm being honest with you, Hot Sauce, that's just really frightening because they've already seemed like they're the ones dictating the pace despite needing to wait for the approach of Decoded. So I don't even know what they do now that they're the ones with the device in hand.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough, right? I think no matter what, you hope to get a few rounds. We'd all love to see Decoded grab a couple rounds, but the likelihood of Pandaric losing after going up 7 to 1.5 is pretty much unheard of. I mean, I would bet the mustache on it at this point.
What? Oh, all right, high stakes. High stakes here on the line, folks. I don't know if Dakota could hear that one, but guys, you could do something really, really funny right now if you win. And Pandaric, you do something really, really funny right now if you throw. But I cannot imagine it's going to be the case. No, they're going to play this one out to the end, honest, as they will. Playing it slow, too. That nade nearly results in the end of Denny. They back off just in time.
Bounce will ring out through the smoke. It's Cacao. Onto the marksman class. He's giving up the enforcer. He's looking to have a little fun with it here at Iceberg. And he gets another.
Fish in a barrel. Grabs two. Finds a third as well. Line them up. It's a carnival game here. And dear God, they're looking for the grand prize. Quick scope in as well. They get a fourth. Bokisi denies him the ace, but will not deny Pandaric. Match point.
Cacao, a whack-a-mole champion, it would appear. They pop the head. He puts them down. And, well, Pandaric Apex, they found themselves to match, series, and championship point.
Yeah, that carnival prize, that big fat trophy, that championship belt wrapped around your waist. Pandaric, so eager to get into the chase. They're running into the grates, but they won't be held back for long. Off to the races you go.
Pandaric, probably glad they don't have to face EPA in this best of 3 here. Doing a great job on Iceberg, and a little peek shot. Doesn't find a mark, but I love to see it.
This is audacious play from Cacao. They are having fun, and if I'm a member of Pandaric, I'm scared too. Cacao's having too much fun. One of those bullets is going to find your backside any moment.
Well, things slow down. We get to hear the ambient sounds of Iceberg for a moment here before you hear that TRG wrapping out across there. And Denny, lurking in the corner, finds the 2K with a piranha rounds.
Don't have too much fun now. We're still around and we're still here to fight. Wreath puts down Bokisi. Cacao, though, still has an answer. Drops the captain to start things off. Look for these quick shoot scops. He's just really trying to find someone to make a clip out of it. I don't blame him for it. But that being said, match point on the line. You really want to try to put a quick end to it. Rapid Rust might be the person to do so.
Well, in a 4v2, Decoded looking to grab another round here, an inch back to make it a bit of a closer
game.
Oh
my God!
Cacao, you dirty dog! He does calls dirty, and he puts him 6 feet under.
That chocolate bar is certainly 99% Cacao, because that is a bitter bullet to taste. They just shove it down the throat of Decoded. These quick shots are so rapid, lightning fast. Even Rapid Rust might be a bit jealous. Looking for some peeks, finds some shots, takes down Cacao. That's how you gotta stop him. I'm sorry, friends. That guy's a bit too much of a monster. I had to do it.
Pumps the fist for the viewers at home. Denny will drop him. And yeah, I mean, that's one way to get rid of Cacao, I guess, who has been a monster on this snipe. Had 2 in that round before being put down by Rapid. And see if maybe Decoded could use that for a little bit of fuel for the fire.
I did say that it was going to be Cacao who's a bit dangerous with the team kills, but it seems that my bad, Cacao. I actually mispredicted. I meant to say Rapid Rust, 2 bloodthirsty, 14-5 here, top of the kill board, and dear God is absolutely running this game. But now Cacao starting to speak up, speak softly, have a big gun. Certainly seems to be the motto of Pandaric, and now they step up with match point in pocket.
1 more to go, and they're going to be on this match point for quite some time should they need it. They've given themselves 6 opportunities to close it out, but Denny finding Rapid early could be huge. The jump shot, though, Codex is going to find him on the reload. His calls, answers back.
Troubled waters here as Cacao drops the captain once more. And Rust isn't even here to stop your fun. It's a shooting gallery here for the marksman.
Wherever that ace is, he's sitting down looking proud at Cacao, like a proud dad right now on this TRG. The snipes are ripe for success. They begin to pressure on. They've got to be careful.
They grow up so fast. Cacao following in the footsteps of that ace. The ace in the hole. The smoke comes out. They look for the empty fire shot right through the smoke, and Agurkus feels the bullet whiz past their face, but they'll survive.
Agurkus is going to find Bikizi here as well, and now he gets Crank down to a 2v1. It's all up to Cacao, who's been hitting the shots, though, and so it's not a bad person to rely on in this situation.
Guns drawn at distance. When the church bell strikes 12, that's when we draw and open fire. Wreath is also present. It hasn't been really participating in the combat. Gets the plant down, looks for the quick fire. Won't find it, turns right back. And it's going to be DD taking that one down. Nonetheless, just feels like, I might as well just get some shots off anyway. Quickly makes easy work of the two remaining members. But Decoded are now back in it. It's 8-3.
Oof. I mean, I think that last shot from Cacao was a no-scope to the dome. I mean, it doesn't matter. Decoded wins the round, but you talk about adding a little extra spice on top, and that certainly does it. Panderic, they've got still 5 more opportunities to close it out, so I'm not sure that they're feeling any type of pressure just yet.
Well, if you're Decoded in this scenario, you just want to take advantage of the fact that their hubris will be their downfall. Pride cometh before the fall, and Pancrake is the first one to go down. Calls, makes it 2 on a Rapid Rust, and suddenly Decoded are on the come-up.
Hey, love to see it here. It's that never say never attitude that we talked about, which makes Decoded so much fun to watch. Trying to bait out the free fire in hopes to catch him in that reload animation, but Cacao is absolutely on point.
This dude's locked in. What the hell is going on with this man, Cacao? Why have you not been on the marksman prior? I would have loved to see it in any other game, Bikizi. Waits up nice and easy, but Wreath's going to be the one to finish the job instead. 4v2, but one of those is Cacao, so stay woke.
He drops that way. 4-2, though. Decoded has been looking strong on the defensive side of things here. On the jiggle peek, Codex will let the gun sing momentarily. And Cacao, the quick peek is not for the weak here as he continues to dominate the scene.
2v3, Cacao has the world as their oyster. But which target do you decide to go for? Ash still remains standing, and they've had a bullet with the captain's name on it each time, but Ash responds in like fashion. How do you like that? A taste of your own medicine. Decoded, the 3v1. Codex stands strong, makes it a 1v2 as Wreath will fall, but Agurkus keeps the team standing 8-4.
And you've already got 4 rounds. I think that's a huge feat on its own. And now you begin to build off of that 1 kill at a time, 1 round at a time. And every single member from Decoded in that round finding a kill apiece here. So a team ace for them across the board as they slowly inch back into this one. And well, that's 6-7 rounds in a row, became 5, and now 4, and slowly chipping away at the lead here from Panderic.
Well, Panderic, I'm sure, could feel like, well, we're messing around here, but I will say Decoded, are a good team. You should not be underestimating them, especially if you just run in like that. Cacao, though, takes down Denny in response. Rapid Rust is the body to fall from Panderic. Even Steven so far, 4-4.
Quick snap decision here from Crank. Leaves Calls dead. They got to be careful of Ashtray, who's been tucked here with a sniper. Bikizi's going to find him from behind, and that opens up the side. It allows them to pressure forward. Agurkus will collect onto Bikizi. It's a 3v2 that slightly favors Panderic.
Yeah, plant online as well, so now it's going to be a retake attempt here from Decoded. Agurkus and Wreath still stand strong, and Kirk's been on a pretty good heater this round, so let's see if they can continue that action in fast fashion. Codex is low. Cal's got that sniper rifle in tow, and instantly responds around that corner. They run up, they gun up. Wreath goes down.
And now Agurkus standing alone with this Ash 12 on the Enforcer. Has picked up a spear here as well, and that definitely has some stopping power. Still searching for this first one, and he's got to get 3 to wrap it up.
Trapped in the corner and put down like a dog behind the barn. Panderic finish the job. Take this series. They are your champs.
The LCL EU Seeding Cup comes to a close here as Panderic Apex will put one more win in that notch column from HPL champs to LCL EU Seeding Cup champs. They are the team to look out for at the moment. A job well done. Decoded making some big improvements in that second half on Iceberg. Unfortunately, just a little too late in that one.
An incumbent team to certainly fear. There is a reason that they took HPL and they're looking to do it again. No one quite strong enough to stand up against them, but we did see some whispers of the forces yet to come that maybe in the future can dethrone them from that Iron Throne. But as far as today stands, Pandaric certainly earned their top spot.
Yeah, I've got my eye out though. Decoded, K3, Outcasts. I mean, there's a lot of great and upcoming teams that bring that exciting action. So, and Derek Apex are enjoying that top spot right now, but we've seen Sicario enjoy it for a couple seasons. The roles have changed a little bit, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of teams chomping at the heels here to take that away from Pandaric Apex. The talent, the competition only continues to grow, and I'm just excited to see what's to come.
What's to come is just great, amazing players and play from this league, from this community. And speaking of the cream of the crop, the most lethal player coming at you in just a moment here. In my money, I don't know, Cacao and Rapid, but I think Rapid's going to probably take it from those early rounds. No,
Whoa!
Cacao! With that, you know what, fair play. But
he took it from Crank in the first one. He took it from Rapid in this one. He's just a monster.
Yeah, you can't blame anyone in the stands for thinking that Cacao earned it. With that sniper rifle, it was just disgusting. That being said, I also want to throw some creds, get some honey over on the GOAT, my friend Rapid Rust, who was absolutely murdering it as well in those opening rounds. Nigh deathless for 4 strung together. Gross. On a new map, too, the fact that they were able to still perform to that peak that you expect from Pandaric, nothing short of impressive.
Yeah, I mean, playing here flawlessly, looking great. And, this is what we expect from the champs, though. They're the team to beat right now, and they're setting that pedestal high, for the rest of these squads. I think that's why we've seen so much competition begin to grow and become a little bit more tight-knit. So it has been a ton of fun. Exclamation point BSG, the giveaway about to close here. I think we're about to draw a winner for that as well. So it's going to be Ty Requil. I have no idea how to say that one. Ty RQL. Maybe D'Lo knows a little bit better. I know he's multilingual.
I don't think my Spanish experience is going to help me there, but sure, we can try in Espanol. Tiriquel. No tengo ninguna idea. I've got no clue, but congratulations nonetheless. It seems like a NyQuil off-brand. Nonetheless,
yes, I was thinking the same thing. NyQuil, it'll still put you to sleep.
I mean, honestly, Pandaric might be the best way to do that. They put several people to sleep today, but not through medication, instead through violence, unabated bloodshed. But I'm sure we're going to see great things from all of the players that were on the podium here today.
Yeah, again, congratulations to Ty there. Make sure you hit exclamation point claim to claim that key. Hop over to the Discord and we'll get that sent over to you as well. GG's to the winners in chat and to all of the competitors here today. It has been a fun one. I know there's been a ton of people working behind the scenes here as well. And before we get ready to close out on the day, I would like to take a moment just to thank them. Certainly not in any order because they are all legends working so hard to make our jobs look easy. But from Last Revit to Peish, Step Sherpa, JB Resources, Lolo FPS, AG, Bloodbag, Leatus, Nominee, our King Connor, BSG, and of course, old stepdad Timmy now, I guess, over here at LCL, and all the wonderful casters throughout both weekends here. We got a lot of talent at the LCL, and everybody always just giving their best performance.
Big thanks as well to our sponsor, Nord VPN, for making sure that Timmy still has no excuses left for when they feed in their online games. Really appreciate you just kind of stripping that away so we make sure that we know. If he's feeding, we know. Nonetheless, thank you very much for sponsoring. But that being said, that is going to be all we have for you here today on Lega EU Division Championship round here. Congratulations once again to our victors, Pandaric Apex. But until next time, I've been D'Lo, joined here by my friend Hot Sauce in the booth. We've had our amazing observation, Last Raven, almighty eye in the sky, keeping the cam steady and the lights on. Please thank our production for all they do. Alongside all the names that Hot Sauce mentioned, it takes a village to get these productions done. There's a reason it's so buttery, silky, smooth operating here on the screen. It's the work of many, many people. So please, in the chat, thank them down below. But last, and certainly not least, Thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you've enjoyed these series just as much as we have. Keep an eye to the sky for more LCL content coming at you in the future. Until then, good games and good night.